following is a presentation of the That Feeling Podcast Network, reminding you to always question the answers.
Eat the cake. Eat the cake. Eat it. Eat the cake. Yeah. Eat the cake. Eat the cake. Well, all right. I bet you thought you stumbled on another podcast. Of course you're right, but let me tell you about the contrast. It's really different, not an X in front of Comcast. We cover anime today and other times past. Listen and learn in that order, then replay. Be entertained by Mac, Jackie, and EJ. 3 hoes doing way more than the most, proving you can pet a lion, but it's all in the approach. Originals and sequels, the newbies and the Ichigos. The world's up in flames to the ones more peaceful. The weapons or the Shuto, manga, Naruto, Monkey D. Luffy, and a lot more that you know. Subscribe, hit the like, give the algorithm life once. We trying to get the same pie that Apple took a bite from. Join the conversation, let us know if you can relate. If not, you still might be forced to eat the cake. Anime, hey, hey, eat the cake. Hey, hey, anime, eat the cake. Anime, eat the cake. Anime, hey, hey, eat the cake. Hey, hey, anime, eat the cake. Anime, eat the cake. Anime.
It's been a long time.
What up? What up?
Have left you. What up, anime heads? It's the Eat the Cake crew. We're back after unplanned hiatus. But I would say it's a good break. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So for this episode, what we're doing, obviously, if you've been following us, we did a episode a while back. We try to do this every season where we talk about, hey, these are some of the anime that we're looking forward to in said season. So last spring, each of us gave 3 shows that caught our eye. I'm sitting there all fucking focused on if my hat is crooked or not. And spring has sprung already. We're into the summer, which will give some more thoughts on some shows we're looking forward to. But we thought it would be only right if we go back and look at the shows that we suggested to see if there were hit or misses. I would say one of the biggest swings and miss on my side was I think last summer we were looking forward to, the same, Gachikuta was coming out, and I'm just like, hey, Togananki, look at this trailer. This shit looks dope. And if you're a fan of it, so be it. I love that for you. However, the general consensus was this is not it. So we're going back. We're going to be looking at some of those shows and seeing what the public thought about it. Do you think it's worthy of a sequel moving forward? Do you think they should continue it or probably just call it a day? And then, like I said, we'll be talking about the summer because the summer is here and there are some bangers in this one, some sequels and some original adaptations. So a lot of stuff to get into. And then we'll also talk about the Japan Expo Daruma Awards, which also gave some awards to some anime, and what differed between that awards and the Crunchyroll Awards, and if we kind of fare more on the side of the Daruma Awards, or if we're feeling more Crunchyroll got it right on the head. Anything else I'm missing, my fellow anime heads, Jackie, EJ?
Nope, just good to be here. Good to be back.
That's it.
Love it. Love it. All right. So new intro alert. Let's get into our verdicts on it didn't save in. Oh, it did. It's here. All right. Nice. Let's get into the next segment where we give our thoughts on the spring anime we picked.
All rise. I have the verdict.
I love it. I love it.
I love how the bailiff is like saying all rise, but then he's like at the stand about to also give his oath.
I just like the judge was feeling it, man. That stress level's high. His cortisol is rising, bro. He's just
man, you're about to speak. I need you to be calm.
You're the one giving me the verdict, my boy.
Yeah. Hey, calm down. You're not going anywhere.
You're not going anywhere. It's on me. It's on me. So I'll start this one off. The spring one that was kind of out of the way for me, more of the rom-com side. And I only went this way because I think in the winter, You and I Are Polar Opposites came out, and I really liked that one. And it kind of got me into it. Hey, I don't have to be watching some serious shit all the time. Just turn something on while I'm doing something, or just something lighthearted. I don't have to take it too seriously to follow along. But very good rom-com if you're looking for one. You and I Are Polar Opposites. The one that came up for me was Mistress Kanan is Devilishly Easy. I gave a kind of a synopsis of it last time around, but now that it's over, I think it was 12 episodes. 12 episodes. And from what I've read is that the 12 episodes that it's covered is trying to cover like 54 kind of chapters of the manga. So you're going about 4.5 chapters per episode. Which it's fine because the manga kind of drags out a lot of the the slice of life portion of it, so it's almost kind of a cliff note version of the manga if you're watching the anime, and it focuses more on the interactions of the characters rather than just backstory of one character that draws on a little too long. So there wasn't a lot of, I would say, angst or anything when it came to the pacing, right? Nobody was upset that they were breezing through this portion of the manga that fast. But overall, on my anime list, it got 7.4 out of 10. IMDb, it got 7.3 out of 10. Crunchyroll, 4.7 out of 5 stars. So, the consensus is a massive fan favorite for rom-com and ecchi enthusiasts. Viewers have heavily praised the relentless comedic timing, which I do agree. It's there's not an episode that played that I did not have a good time watching. There was not one where I'm just like skip. The staggering variety of unhinged, hilarious facial expressions given to both the main character and all of the other characters when shock gags and all those things pop up. The standard comedic timing, like it's a good watch. I would just say that it's a good watch. And overall, it's just I feel a good addition to the rom-com category. Again, I'm not a vet in that category or that genre. Brand new to it. It is in the rotation. I do have, I don't know if Witch Watch is up there for rom-com for me. It's more slice of life, but Witch Watch is in the rotation. You and I Polar Opposites in the rotation. Now Miss Kanan is Devilishly Easy's in the rotation. I have no problem with it. For a genuine hardcore fan of the genre, I don't know how they would feel about it, but for me, it's a good watch. And 7.5, it's kind of middle of the road. I'm starting to look at Crunchyroll stuff. Like, it's rare to see something under 4.5 stars on Crunchyroll. So I don't know if it's really I'd kind of lean towards my anime list for more of the true data and how it feels. So I'm looking at, kind of 7.5 out of 10 is legit. I would keep it there. If someone wanted to rank it higher, I wouldn't be upset with that. But I feel this is a great one, and I'm hoping a season 2 comes out. Actually, can I cheat to see if Miss Kanan's getting one? Let me Google the Google machines. Google's just like, you bother me every fucking day, bro.
I have not watched it, so I don't know, but I remember you were talking about it and it did look interesting. Right. I just did not get to it.
Yeah, so the announcement was made on June 20th, right after the final episode, that it is getting a season 2. So, which is good because I do like the show. And it's streaming entirely on Crunchyroll. Just go there, watch all 12 or 13. I think it's 12. Yep. Watch all 12 episodes. You can binge it all, kill it in a weekend if you want. But yeah, that's my thought. So I thought it was a hit, going out on a limb with the rom-com. I thought it was a hit. Proud of myself for that one.
Nice.
Yeah. Who was about one of their shows next?
Jackie,
I can go next. Yeah. So the since we're just doing rom-coms, I'm not the one I'm gonna talk about isn't a rom-com, but this definitely has like a romance aspect to it.
Mhm.
One of the ones that I recommended was Agents of the Four Seasons, Dance of Spring, also known as Shunkashuto Daikosha Haru no Mai.
Okay. You been doing your Duolingo or what?
Trying. But just a quick like recap again what it was about. But this one looked really pretty, so I'm a huge sucker for if I see an anime like where the animation obviously looks drawn and has the pastel colors, looks really pretty. Like I'm immediately wanting to watch it. And this one kind of gave off that vibe immediately. Um, had an interesting premise. You have four agents of the seasons. They each have a guard with them, and it was centered around the specific agent, which was Kaio or Hinagiku Kaio. She was the agent of spring. She kind of disappeared. Something like happened a long time ago when she was a child. Her and the agent of winter were really close. There's like some romance budding there and stuff like that. And then she kind of disappeared for 10 years, and then she comes back and the entire Japan has been, like, experiencing a really long winter, so her coming back to, like, help, thawed is, like, what everyone wants. Basically, the how I understood it is, like, because it doesn't explain it very well in the beginning. That was, like, one of the biggest things that a lot of people that watch the anime also agreed with is you don't you just get right into, like, the characters and that something bad happens. There's no, like, introduction of the characters first, so it's hard for you to kinda, like, really feel bad or like connect with the characters and what happened to them. They explain it like way at the end. So you're kind of just like watching the show the whole time, wondering like, what is it? Like what is the actual problem? I think like in the middle of the episode, like episode 5, you kind of like get to the point where you're like, okay, now you're understanding a little bit what happened, but it's still like kind of backwards
Yeah.
how they introduce it. Um, but um where was I going with this? Oh, but when they, also talk about what the Agent of Spring, they don't really talk about either how long winter's going for. I thought initially when I watched it, winter was, like, going on for 10 years. That's not the case. So, basically, spring was just getting skipped. So, it was just, like, winter and then summer. So, it's, like, 6 to 8 months of winter, and then, like, you go into
Right.
to the next stuff. Um the biggest things with it is, the studio that did this is the same studio that, had done, Attack on Titan, Vinland Saga, so you know that, like, the animation style and everything, the storytelling is gonna be really great.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of the, like, facial expressions, the colors and the powers were really cool, like, I didn't think that there was gonna be a lot of, like, fighting in it, and there's not, there's, like, more drama, but, um, the whole premise with how, like, they can't I think what I didn't like is that they weren't allowed to use their powers unless they were, like, uh, going to get attacked or killed. So other than, like, that or bringing forth a season, they just don't use their powers at all. Um, and if they did, they were, like, scorned. So that if that was, like, a little strange, like, they couldn't use it to protect people, like, at one point, the Agent of Winter, like, went to save a child's life and now was, like, gonna get in trouble because he used his power to do that, so they were very strict on, like, when they could use their powers. The music was really great, like I said, the animation, the fantasy, the storytelling, the music, like, all of that was, like, really, really awesome. There's not a lot of romance, it's definitely hinted in there between the spring and winter. Um, there's definitely some, like, other stories with, like, the Agent of Summer and her sister, that is, like, interesting. I actually really liked that part of the arc, if you will, when they talked about that. But the biggest criticism is definitely this it's a little bit of a slow burn. It takes a few episodes before it starts getting into, like, some more meat and potatoes. People were trying finding it hard to, like, connect. I was a little confused too until, like, I wish they would have explained more kinda thing of the characters before they just kinda, like, went into, like, some of the stuff, but overall, like, I thought it was really great. I'm bringing up what I have for the ratings. My bad. Give me a
It's all
second.
good.
Okay. Thought I had it on here. Oh no. Oh. Where'd it go? Oh my god. Oh, there we go. Okay, so overall, same thing that you talked about, Willie, like 7.4 out of 10 on IMDb.
Mhm.
When you go onto Crunchyroll, like, yeah, same thing. Crunchyroll, like, will give it like a 4.7 out of whatever. I will say that Crunchyroll, if you do see a rating of 4.4 or less, though, you know that that anime is probably not that good. So if it's at least a 4.6 or higher, it's definitely like, not a waste of time.
Mhm.
Um, I will say that, like I kinda talked about, the later episodes had, like, really high ratings. So, like, episode 8, episode 7, you find it, like, 8.6, 8.7 for a lot of audiences. So, it's one of those, again, animes in the beginning, like, you're not gonna have, like, the the grasp, or you won't be, like, into it right away, but once you get middle later on, like, the action, the storytelling, a lot more of, like, drama and stuff, like, really gets into it. It gets really interesting, and it's an easy, like, 12-episode watch. I really enjoyed it, and I think that everyone else should check it out
Yeah.
for
I
sure.
remember you talking about this one and the trailer, and when it was just like when we saw the studio behind it.
Mhm.
I don't think animation was an issue. It was more of,
No.
the story and, something original, which I think it did a good job of doing. And actually when we were doing our I forget the individual that put that fight list together. Like one of the fights that he had as his
Oh,
best
yeah.
2026 so far was on there when I don't know, was it the Spirit of Winter coming off the plane?
Agent of Winter. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
so what yeah, it was the him and Spring hadn't seen each other for a really long time, so he took a private jet to go to, like, the, like, prefecture that she was
yeah,
at, and, like, people were waiting for him to, like, shoot him. That was
right.
the thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, and so it has that nice blend of storytelling plus the action and stuff. So I think it's a good watch.
Mhm.
At least give it a shot. One of
Yeah.
those, give it a couple episodes to kind of world build, and then you're in it. So
Yeah, it's not, like, super original, but it's also not super remade either.
right,
Like, so I thought it was, like, just a nice, pretty, like, pleasing to the eye, and the main character wasn't as she I will say she, like, stutters a lot
mm,
because of the trauma she went through. She can't, like, speak in full sentences, so that's been messed up. Initially, like, I was really confused why she was talking like that, and it really bothered me. But when you learn later of why, you're like, "Okay, I guess." That's, like, the only thing that I think people might, like, get annoyed with initially, but if you really, like, understand the background and why, then you're like, "Oh, okay." Yeah,
nice.
that's it.
Cool.
All right, EJ, what you got, man?
All right, so one of my picks was Aaron of the Southpaw, which I picked it because when I was scrolling and we were finding whatever interests us. One, we all talked about picking some slice of life to give some uh give some props to Jackie because she's always trying to get us to broaden our horizons. But at first, I was like, I thought it was going to be a boxing, and I was like, hey, that's cool. I haven't done a sports one in a while, but it turns out it's complete has nothing to do with so it is very slice of life. Just to give it a heads up to everyone, it's got very mixed reviews. It's about on my anime list, it's got a 6, and roughly 6 to 6, point something. But the you have people who absolutely love it, who are obviously fans of more of the slice of life drama, and then and everyone else, it's like dead. So I mean, basically, if they give it like 0, it's like or 1, it's
Right.
leveling it out right at 6. So if you're a fan of slice of life and the art is beautiful, and
Mm,
it is a interesting story because of the way that it's set up. But I think immediately some of the gripes that are heard is it's very turn off-putting to begin with because it deals with a lot of the same tropes and I don't know, like cliches for school because the intro of the story shows like flashes to school before they become enter the professional world, which I guess I should start there. The whole thing is about entering the professional world of art. Okay, different type of art forms, people, producing art, people doing street art, people do. So it's these different artists and how gifted they are, and whether or not you're considered gifted and genius like, or are you just average. So it kind of focuses a lot around the main character's struggles with that. And I mean, it's interesting enough, and the art, and like I said, that I'd say they fleshed out dialogue very well as far as making it feel the realism of people interacting in those types of situations in your professional atmosphere. You know, you see the struggles of the main character trying to evaluate themselves. Am I my own worst critic, or am I really not as gifted as those around me? You know, so it's a
Mhm.
lot of that. I can see where a lot of people would be, immediate, they get to maybe the third or fourth episode and they're like, this is just not, doesn't have anything gripping enough for me to stick with it. And it could, and that's possibly the biggest gripe everyone has is
Mhm.
it's not that it's a bad story or anything like that, but it's just lacking in the getting those hooks in you to make you want to come back because as someone meanly commented, I think in one of the reviews is like, this is celebrating not being a genius. So it's like,
Wow.
I'm like, you could take it that way, or it could be more of the realization that like, hey, not everyone or everyone is their own worst critic, and everyone judges what they produce or what they create more harshly than everyone around them. Even those some of the greatest artists we've ever known in our lifetimes, you sit them down, they don't pick themselves as being the top. You know what I mean? They're usually like they'll name off people like, "Oh man, Prince was gifted in music." They won't even bring themselves up into the category. Or, you know, Picasso was amazing in abstract art, but they don't ever mention their own works. And I think that says a lot to this story. Is this individual is experiencing that, but on a much deeper level of his own, struggles. So, overall, music, dialogue, art, the flow of people's interactions is done very well. It is lacking in the area of being gripping enough for any characters that just stand out to you that you really want to follow. Be it like for side stories or backstories. You're not really searching for that because it doesn't need to delve into that to address what the series is about. So do I think it's worth a watch if you are a fan of drama and the slice of life and getting to see it more on a professional level, not like the at-home life, but more focused on people's striving and motivations towards trying to reach their goals, then you may enjoy this. Everyone else is probably not gonna want to sit through it, so I don't see it as probably carrying on very long if it does get another season. I think that the ratings are the 6, and I think it's 4 point something on Crunchyroll, like low 4s. It's those are pretty accurate. It's not something that's it's not catching a lot of people. Maybe a second season, if more intrigue develops between characters, it could boost it, but
Yeah.
I don't see it probably catching on heavy.
Mhm.
So I would say this one is a dud. For me at least. If someone enjoyed it, if you have any comments or you watched it and you got something different out of it and felt more engaged, by all means, share it with us. You might have some insight as far as the backstory on certain things and where it's gonna go. Then I'm all for it because, like I said, I didn't read any of the previous source material with the series. I just, jumped right in. So there may be people who know it's going to eventually get there. But as for right now, is it beautiful to see? Yeah, the work is great. You could tell the artists put the time in, the voice actors put the time in. Music is average. I would say nothing stand out, but that's what you expect in a drama. You don't expect it to be overwhelming with the music to where you're just like rocking out. You expect it to kind of facilitate and carry the feel. So overall, like I said, I think the internet was right. I would give it, if we were looking at our rating of ramen bowls, I'd probably give it 2.5 because it's just not something that I would sit through again. So
Yeah, I looked at it and there's been no official announcement for renewing for a second season,
mm,
even though there's plenty of collected volumes and stuff for it to continue with the
yeah.
manga. But like I said, uh there's no announcement yet. And like you said, animation and everything, the art's good, produced by Signal MD and Projection IG, so you're looking at it like this is something that could have picked up, but maybe it was just too niche of a
Yeah.
story. And that's some of the risks that you take when you're looking to try to bring an anime adaptation that's original.
Yeah.
Not original based on the Crunchyroll Awards.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, hey, this hasn't been done before. This has been going on for a while. Let's animate it and see what happens. So sometimes you need those swings and a miss. Sometimes, it'll bring new eyes to it. Maybe they pick up the manga afterwards, if it doesn't get picked up
True.
first season. So there's no harm, no foul in giving a shot. But there are horrible ones out there where you're like, you should probably
Yeah, most definitely.
use your manpower to probably do something else, right? But
Yeah.
again, I haven't watched. I think I watched the first 2 episodes, but everything was going on. I was trying to catch up with other stuff. So,
Yeah.
it sucks. I know the studio isn't hurting. Production IG, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
So it's not like a smaller studio that's trying to come up where this will like close the doors on them. But
They have money. They have money to give to try out new things.
And I think that if nothing else, it's probably going to be of interest to those who have followed all the volumes and read them, just because they'd probably like to see how they translated them into an animated,
Right.
feature. So if nothing else, the fan base is probably, enjoying it. So what it's worth, it's like I said, middle of the road, two and a half ramen bowls for it's like,
bad, not bad. All right. The second one that I picked for spring was Marriagetoxin. So it is a Studio Bones creation. So if you know Studio Bones behind My Hero Academia, Mob Psycho 100, all of the things, Full Metal Alchemist, Demons of the Shadow Realm that's going on now. So the pedigree of the studio is out of this world, right? Mm-hmm. So and then you got the composition by Kimiko Ueno, which is who's been doing work on Delicious in Dungeon, which I brought up when we were talking about favorite fantasy anime out there. So it's just to me, like the ingredients were all there. When you're reading about it, it looks great. The premise, you have Hikaru Gero is the elite young clan leader. So in this world, there are families of assassins, and their families are kind of categorized into the method in which they perform these assassinations. So Hikaru is part of the Poison Masters assassins. So he utilizes toxins in all these ways to get certain results. So to immobilize, to kill, to blind, to all these other things in order to get his mission done. However, his clan is just like, hey, you're kind of like the last male of the clan, and we need you to produce heirs. But he's super good at killing people, but horrible at like interpersonal skills. So therein lies the dilemma, right? Overall, Studio Bones is behind it. So when they do have the fights between assassins and things like that, amazing, real good, high energy, all of that good stuff. And then they do a good job as far as when it comes to the little slice of life portion of it, where he meets Mai, who is who's a master swindler, who's just like, hey, let me, I'm good at human psychology and stuff. Let me help you not be nervous around certain people and work on your interpersonal skills so you can meet somebody and all of that stuff. So the slice of life is there. The action is there. A nice blend of both. So here's where I'm at. My anime list is like 8.35 out of 10, right? They're just like, this shit is the IMDb 8.2 out of 10, Crunchyroll 4.8 out of 5, which I'm all for. And the consensus is it's universally praised as one of the most refreshing high energy action series of the seasonal lineup. Fans obsess over the phenomenal buddy cop dynamic between Gero and Mai, and the creative visual designs, the poison techniques, instant announcement of the second season. So it got picked up immediately after the last episode of season 1 completed. Studio Bones was just like, bam, season 2 on the way. It's going to premiere January 27, right? So no shit, like spring anime, and they're like, hey, this is about to be a winter drop, January 27. So picked up great. Um, I don't want to be like, I'm not telling nobody not to check it out. It was a good watch. But if you're looking for something like new, it's like, to me, I'm kind of like a 7.5 on it,
Mhm.
I'm not trying to go out there and tell people, hey, pick this shit up right now. If you come across it, you're more than likely going to enjoy it. But I want to get to the point where like 7.5 is not a bad thing. Like, is it lower than your 8.35? Yes. It's just when you've seen enough of these kind of shonen type things, you're you kind of can almost tell how the story is going to go
Mm-hmm.
in a sense. Not having read the manga, I think it kind of pulled me in a little more because I'm trying to figure everything out. When you go to my anime list, it has a total of what's that, 30, like about 42, 43 reviews. 28 of them recommended, 8 of them have mixed feelings, and 7 is non-recommended. The funny thing is the people who are not recommending it are giving it 6 out of 10. So I'm just like,
Oh.
that's weird. Um,
So it's not like it's bad. They just maybe they're
Are
in the
they
same feel like you. Like they feel like it's nothing extraordinary. So
well,
maybe I don't know.
I'll read this one, and they gave. Let me see the one that gave it a 6, if that's still here. But here, this person gave it a 4,
Mhm.
and again, like when you go to my anime list, like these are just people that are just dropping their feelings, right?
they're anecdotal comments.
Yes.
Mhm.
So yes, they're not coming from people who are like legit in the business or anything like that.
Right.
Like I can create a thing and throw something in there and give it a rating, right?
Mhm.
This person says Marriagetoxin is 99% action and only 1% supposed romance. The main character's mission is to find a wife so his family line doesn't die out. It's good on paper, but in reality, it's cringeworthy. The main character is already an adult, but we mustn't forget that this is a shonen manga, so unfortunately his behavior and everyone else's for that matter is childish. The whole thing revolves around him rescuing potential wives only to end up in the friend zone with them, and this pattern repeats itself constantly. His interactions with women are painful and awkward. Even though I understand he hasn't had any normal social contact, it's still painful to watch. The only person he gets along with is his so-called dating advisor, and yes, he's a trap. So for me, he'll 100% end up with him as a woman. The only thing I like about this anime is the opening, which will remind me of this mediocre anime for the rest of my life. He gives this.
Yeah,
So
so I watched the first episode and like
uh,
it was interesting. I liked the animation, all that. I liked the opening, so I agree with that person.
right.
But that was my fear though. And that person said it is that it's supposed to be a romance, but then like where's the romance? And is
Mhm.
it just that it's not going to get there until the last like whatever season they decide to end it on or wherever the manga decides to be finished. It's like the last like volume. And then it's not even like the romance that people were expecting, which is fine, but like does it make sense though?
Mhm.
Or are you just like trying to do something different just because? So
Mm.
I stopped watching it only cuz I'm like I'll see what other people are saying before I go back into it. Um I don't know.
Are they trying to make the character likable, but it's
No,
missing because
it's the dating partner and, like, it's all over the internet, so you can look
Right.
it up. But the dating partner that you think is a woman's not actually a woman.
Yeah. Cross
It's
dress.
it's a cro it yeah, it's a man who dresses as a woman to manipulate other people and get their money or kill them, like,
Yeah.
that's the
That's
whole
his
thing.
angle.
And a
Yeah.
lot of people found that out after the first or the second
That's
episode.
when I thought, I was like, boy, people are about to review bomb. I thought this was going to be like hated because they're introducing trans and all that other
Yeah,
stuff.
and that's not it. That's not what people are bitching about. They're bitching about the fact that, like, of that it's repetitive. And
Right.
if that's, like, the whole goal, then make it make more sense, but the way the story is going is it
Mm.
doesn't. 'Cause and it yeah, that's the most frustrating part. If you're gonna make this a romance, then do that. Otherwise, it just becomes like a slice of not a slice of life, but It's like an action. It's almost like you guys ever watch Detective Conan?
Yeah.
Like, this shit is 3,000 episodes, and, like, we're never getting to the point like, the romance is barely ever there between him and his childhood, like, friend, and you're
Mm.
never getting to the point of when he's gonna find out if he can get his body back. It's just repetitive cases over and over and over and over
Yeah.
again. It's
Mm.
and so, like, you have to like that, to get into this, or if you're looking for a romance, you're not gonna get it
You're
from
not getting it here. It's essentially if you just want a good shonen,
yeah,
come
that's it.
watch this. Because the other side that's promised isn't going to help. But I will agree with everybody. Like all the people who don't recommend it, they all say the intro and outro is sick as fun.
Yeah. It is, it's really good.
Like
Just enjoy
intro,
that then, and
like
then
the intro and outro are never skips, but everything in between those two things, you're like, blah, you know.
Mhm.
So, like I said, 7.5 out of me. Probably the lowest I would go is probably a 7. Anything less than that, I'm just like, now you're trying to, fuck around. And I'm never not going to recommend it. I guess mixed feelings is where I would be if I was to leave something on my anime list, but the ratings are there. People seem to like it. Like I said, it's these high 8s or low 8s on my anime list and IMDb, Crunchyroll 4.8, second season already announced. So I think a lot of people, and it's not so much on my anime list, but if you go to the manga portion of it, they don't really comment too much on the anime side. But the pacing, they're going through like 5 chapters an episode. 13 episodes covers
Mhm.
roughly about 60 chapters of the manga. So you're looking about 3 to 5 episodes or 3 to 5 chapters per manga. They cover like 2 arcs, getting into another arc towards the end of the first season. So again, maybe if you pick up the manga and look at it, maybe you'll kind of buy into it more. But if you're just no manga reading, straight into the anime based on the premise, and you're looking for that slice of life portion of it, it's not really there.
Mm.
So if you're looking for that, you can go check out You and I Are Polar Opposites or Miss Kanan is Devilishly Easy. Recommended before. But again, it's one of those where the hype is there. It seems like it was a hit, but not a lot of people. Well, I don't say not a lot. A lot of people are kind of noticing this is
Repetitive nature.
repetitive,
of the-
you know.
Mm.
Cool. What you got for the second one, Jackie?
So the other one that I recommended, I actually have not been able to watch it
Mhm.
yet. So what I have here is just kind of like what I saw, and now I actually it makes me want to go watch it because I didn't know. Like I recommended it, but then like I was looking at things, I'm like I don't know, and I had all this list of all these great ones, so I like focus on those before I went to this one. But the other one that I'd recommended was Akane Banashi. If you guys remember when I recommended it, it was a anime about storytelling, and it's the storytelling piece. It's a huge thing in traditional Japanese seated storytelling that people do in Japan called rakugo.
Mhm.
And the way that you do it, you get like a lot of praise, and it just depends on like what you use and stuff like that. And so it was interesting for an anime to be created for this. There's another anime called Chihaya Furu. I don't know if you guys have ever watched it, but there's 4 seasons of that. This one it reminded me of that because Furu is also about like this girl who does this game where she goes to different competitions. There's a love interest, and she's not good at it initially, but gets really great afterwards. This one reminded me of that, which is why it was on my list. Um, I will say that there's a lot of people skeptical about it, but the biggest word to describe it that came from everybody was a surprise. Like a lot of people were actually shocked that it was good, and that they liked it as much as they did. IMDb gave it about a 7.7 out of 10. There's other reviews like from Mal. I think I had. Sorry, give me 1 second. Tanashi. Um, sorry, I thought I had this up, but I didn't. But a lot of people gave it like high praise, especially for like the way that the characters were animated and the voice acting. Apparently, like it was big time praise of how the storytelling came through with all of the characters. Like a lot of people said it was amazing. Um, And then Crunchyroll gave it a My Anime List actually gave it an 8.4 out of 10, which is pretty high. And then a lot of people are calling it actually like a hidden gem, which is interesting. Um, the other things that a lot of people are talking about with it is that with the voice acting, it said like that's the number one thing that everyone's talking about. The voice, the facial expressions, the body language, like the performance that these voice actors are putting on is absolutely insane. The voice actress that performs as Akane, the main character, I guess is like she's getting the most praise because she convincingly switches between multiple characters during the Rakugo performances, and the way that she changes her voice and stuff is actually really good. Um a lot of people compare it to Hakuyo or Blue Lock, not because of the sports, but because they go under that same underdog drive and competitive energy is there throughout of it. There's I guess like the main protagonist. They really like her as the main protagonist because she's confident, funny, stubborn, and hardworking. She doesn't come across as an overpowered genius, and a lot of people respect like the practice and determination. Um, the other thing, like, apparently um give me 1 second. The biggest criticisms that people have is that a lot of Western viewers are like, they don't get a lot of people don't get it because they don't understand Rakugo, so they're like, I think, like, a lot of things that I was reading is people were, like, talking about how they weren't understanding the humor or understanding like the emotional aspect in some of the episodes of storytelling, and they didn't get like what the humor was because it's just Japanese humor and it doesn't translate well to Western audiences. And some people are like defending, especially people who get the humor, like, well, you don't get it because of X, Y, and Z. Especially with like Japanese wordplay, some of the classic stories, and there's a lot of cultural references. So if you don't know a lot about Japan at all, then it might not hit you and you might not understand why like it's funny or you get the emotional aspects. So you would have to do like some research. Um, but a lot of people say that apparently, like, if you guys know who Eiichiro Oda, which is the creator of One Piece, like he has recommended this manga. So like the manga and the anime are recommended by people that are out there that have uh um like incredibly like credible works like One Piece and Neon Genesis Evangelion. The creator of that, Hideaki Anno, has also recommended this. Um but yeah, a lot of people are saying that it's a gem, that it's different, it's interesting. They're very surprised, and and actually the story is good too. But like one of the biggest things that's it's getting praised for is just like the amount of hard work that the voice actors and that you have to get into because there's no battle scenes. So a lot of it is coming from the characters sitting on the cushion doing the storytelling for whatever it is that they're doing. So
Mm.
now it's like moving up there for me because of that. But it's hard, like, depending on not sports animes, but when you have, like, animes like this where it's like a card game, it's or chess, like Kakegurui, for example, if you guys watch that, like, you gotta over dramatize that to really get into, the anime, and, Kakegurui is, like, really, really good. It's all about gambling. But I think that
Mm.
one's fun because it's, like, kinda weird and awkward, and there's definitely a lot of ecchi in it, but this one's not ecchi, so it's just, like, just straight up, like how the creator and the artist takes like not only the animation but then the voice acting with it as well, and I guess they do like a really really good job with it. I don't think I
Cool.
talked about the studio. um the studio is Zex, Zexcs, and I actually did not look up what else
Heard of that.
that studio has done. I've never even Zexcs studio anime list, what else they've done. Um, a lot of anime I've never heard of. I think the only one that I know about is I remember this when I said it last time. I completely forgot. The only one I know about is Diabolic Lovers, which is a vampire anime based off of I think like a video game,
Oh,
and that one was
you liked it?
no, it was okay.
Oh, Well, season 2 has been officially announced to premiere January 2027. So
Nice.
they found some audience, right?
Yeah. I mean,
And
it apparently like it's getting good reviews. So
yeah. So I mean, it's just going to be harder for it to pick up in the West, I guess. Unless you sit down and you want to get to know the characters and their motivations and stuff. Because a lot of the sports anime that does get picked up in the West is sports that are knowledgeable, Blue Lock, Haiku,
Yeah.
basketball, things like that, where you're just like, well, shit, I know how basketball works, I know how volleyball works, but this one, you're just like, I'm not getting it at all.
yeah.
So you got to sit down and learn. But I do like the fact that it's picking up a second season, and maybe this can kind of get this studio kind of seen more, and they can pick up a few more projects.
Yeah.
Because the animation looks beautiful, like the character designs and everything, the background, how they're able to capture this period in history. They did an amazing job. So
Yeah, if you're looking for something different, like truly, like this is different.
mhm.
Like not your typical shonen or shoujo, right?
Mhm.
I would recommend just checking it out, and then if you like it, and especially if you like the amount of hard work rather than like just like action sequences and stuff like that, like I think that it would be a good watch. And when I actually watch it, I'll let you guys know.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, EJ, what you got?
All right, my second one or number 2 out of my spring picks was Killed Again, Mr. Detective. It was a supernatural. It's pitched as a supernatural mystery kind of um, theme. Storyline follows the detective who has this ability that he's immortal. Basically, he can die and come back, and so it's used to a great extent for him to investigate these crimes, and it involves a lot of supernatural elements as magic and you know mythical kind of beings, I guess, life forms or so I'm just going to start off saying that this was disappointment. Um, not only are the characters, okay, one, I'll start off with the first art it's, I didn't pick this one for that. I picked it because of this difference in being more of a mystery and that it's supposed to be less action and more, you know, into the characters. It's not one that I looked at the art immediately that grabbed me. I felt that the art was average to subpar from looking at things. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. So it's one of those I could tolerate. So I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. Moving on from that, the characters are very poorly written as far as their decision making and their interactions and the choices made. You're just kind of like, it just doesn't follow logic. You're just like, while you're watching it, and I don't know if it's because the world building didn't really happen and the character background was kind of weak. It immediately goes into these characters, and I mean, it does do character background on on the focus of their supernatural aspects because it's really hammering that home. But you lack the mystery. You know, you can't if you come to this looking for mystery, which is what they kind of pitched at you. It's like a supernatural mystery. The mysteries are not very well done, and it's solved in a manner that's kind of like, you know, matter of factly, like, oh, you know, like it wasn't that important. And then they go back to the supernatural interactions, which is cool. Which
Mhm.
I guess the best way I could pick, like, if you like supernatural things or supernatural, like the show Supernatural, how you know, the idea of these spirit hunters or vampire hunters or demon hunters are out there, you know, solving cases that involve creatures that are or beings beyond you know, their paranormal power. That's cool, but this kind of just skirts that border, never really gets into that more so than just to kind of throw it in your face that there is this other supernatural thing. And the characters just, I don't know, it just lacks someone that you're like, even the main character, it's not, you're not getting that build or concern, especially with the fact they play on the fact of his immortality. That takes away a huge factor in you watching this. You're like, I'm not worried about it. But the humor is on and off, like hit and miss at times, and you don't know if it's a maturity thing or if it's a cultural thing because it kind of hits on both because of the fact of I wouldn't say heavy fan service, but it's obvious that the female characters in here are thrown in more for that aspect and the whole like central attraction more so than them being a standout character for anything else. And it gets repetitive. Like I said, the mysteries aren't very good, and it automatically starts switching over to supernatural means of solving stuff. So it gets repetitive. It doesn't like it's not like you're like, wow, this guy's really putting a lot of thought into this, or oh wow. I guess it's hard when you come from the aspect of sitting on the side and watching like Death Note, and that's a huge battle
Yeah.
of wits, or even Berserk's battle of wits, where Guts, versus Griffin as far as their like seeing into the back the alternative actions and stuff of other characters. Like it takes a while, but Guts actually starts to see, oh, there was always ulterior motives with him. But it lacks all of that. It lacks that, and that character sitting back and being introspective to different things and figuring stuff out. It kind of just goes with the like, hey, we're gonna throw a little bit of flash at you, some kind of cool supernatural stuff, and then boom, we just obviously solve this problem and move on. Decent series, but I feel like it's not. I wouldn't recommend it for people to watch it. If you're super into the atmosphere of the supernatural and investigations and mystery, I guess because it's not a huge genre. So of course you're going to pick this one up if that's your thing, but don't expect to be on the intellectual side of like Death Note, and don't expect it to be on the interaction side of something like Juju Kaisen or something, where the characters are just have a much greater level of your like interest and their interactions as well. This kind of lacks that because it doesn't go enough into explaining things and delving into mysteries more so than just kind of like I said, the always the cheap card of just like, oh, all right, we'll just solve it supernaturally. Boom. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it doesn't you're like, okay, this is just obviously they're going to solve it supernaturally at the end with very little investigative work and stuff, and it's just going to be less than interesting interactions between the same characters that I've been watching from the beginning. So do not recommend. There wasn't nothing about this series that stood out as the art wasn't great, the music's mediocre, the humor is hit or miss. I don't expect this to last long if it does. I don't think I've heard anything about it getting a second season. As far as I think
Looked, it's not.
it's got like a 6 point, what is that? 6.2 on my anime list, and I think it was a 5 or something on. Let me check IMDb real quick, but it wasn't good. It's not like anyone was like, yeah, I don't know. Let me check. I don't know if people want or picked it up or was even interested, because it really is. It's a forced watch. I did not finish the series. I'd read up on the way it closed out the last 4 episodes, but it wasn't anything that I was like, man, I wish I got to see that. It's like,
damn, I missed out.
Oh no. Yeah, let me see. It might not be a 5. I'll see what this. Yeah, 5.8 on IMDb for this. That's what I'm saying. 6.2 on Mal, and then 5.8 on IMDb. And that's with some people jumping on to defend it. So, I mean, I'm not saying the actors did bad. The voice acting was good. It's just shallow. Even though the art is good, the art seems very basic, just like filler to the it matches the lack of story.
What studio was this again?
Let me see. It is Linden Films. So they are famous for, let's see, something that everybody's like, I know people were into Tokyo Revengers. It's not very huge.
Yeah,
but it had Berserk, and that's why I mentioned that. This studio.
Oh, and Call of the Night and Rurouni Kenshin.
That's what I'm saying. It has a storied history. So you think like, but it's not like they have anything after. Let's see, what year is this? They have mostly in the 7 category, and that nothing. Goblin Slayer 2 is probably recognizable to some people, but since Berserk, which I think this is the reproduction one. Let me see. what year is this one? It's the
Interesting.
2016. So since that, they haven't had anything. I mean, they have no shows, no series that even got in. The closest they have is uh Call of the Night. That's their closest one to getting any kind of, high end scores, which
And
I'm
that's what
surprised. It's a
And that's
storied
also a
studio.
controversial anime too.
Yeah. So I just gave it a chance because they do have a storied background as far as like, Kenshin and stuff, but it's obvious the last decade or so they just haven't been able to put anything out there that's really anchored them a spot in the top 10 anywhere. So
Yeah.
Well, I'm sitting here and I think this is where some of these studios got to look like. Is there a broad fan base for anime, right? And there's different niches for all of these things, the mystery, all this stuff. But when you're gonna take something and animate it and put money behind it, because I'm looking at what was the reception of the manga for this, right? For it to fall flat like
Yeah.
this. And it's saying there was low initial traction for it.
Mhm.
Because it had modest to niche sales rather than the massive commercial
Mm.
success
Yeah.
into its short-lived serialization. It only has 2 volumes, right?
Mhm.
And volume 1 only sold 3,600 in its initial tracking period. So it's
Oh
like
wow.
it's like I don't think there was an audience for this
Yeah.
Yeah.
for you to make the anime for it. And I'm
Exactly.
thinking that's why it's getting the reception it's getting, and that's why it hasn't been renewed for a second season. Which, if they did do a second season, it would just complete all the
Yeah, that would be the end of the volumes. So
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
just like I don't know. It sucks because a creator came up with this story and put it pen to ink or pen to paper
Mhm.
and did the story, and animators drew the panels for the manga, and then a studio picked it up. A studio like London Films, you know what I'm saying? That has had great anime adaptations.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just put this out. Like, was there no like test audience or something? Like, hey, this is what we want to animate. Like, you talk about the manga that only has 2 volumes, and
Yeah.
the first volume didn't even break 4,000.
Yeah. And I didn't even look at the manga, but yeah, what you're saying makes
Because
perfect
every
sense. If
time,
you don't even have a fan base enough that's going to be there for, you know, the premiere day. I mean, even if it's not great, if you have like, let's say you have a couple 100,000 fans that could be there on premiere day, it might push you up a little bit, but no, they don't even have 4,000 fans to show up on premiere day. So it's like,
Yeah.
wow.
I get like it when studios want to try and like animate something because then it brings people more to the manga and then the anime.
right?
But like what you're saying, Willie, it doesn't make any sense though if like the manga already has such a small following, like it's that small. If
Hmm.
there's probably a reason why, and I don't know, like you're taking a huge risk by like animating something that is already like that. So,
Yeah, and I
and then if
mean,
you don't do a good job with it either,
you're gonna
like
take away your loyal fan
yeah.
base
So
anyway.
yeah, so if you're gonna be lazy with the voice
Hmm.
acting and the animation and then the character depth, which I haven't read the manga, so that's actually how it is in the manga too, like, that sucks. But, like, because that's what it sounds like you're not when you don't put any character depth to anything and it's just like it's like, just you're putting on like a cartoon or something that I really just want trash TV, that's all I want. I want a trash cartoon that I can just put onto the background and just have
Yeah.
up to, like, to follow
Well,
just 'cause.
they abuse the fact of it. Like I can't stress it enough. The immortality thing. It's like he has to die in every case before they actually start getting into meat potatoes of what the hell happened. So it's like, bro, just because you can be murdered and then go back and reverse like, oh well, obviously this guy killed me because I remember dying in this room, and he's always brought back by his or his father's assistant that now works for him or something, and it's like, bro, there's no real figuring things out. There's no clues to match up. He's already been killed by the murderer, and then he's like works backwards to figure it out. It's like I don't need the Scooby Doo thing. It's like
Yeah.
like every episode, bro. This is what we're gonna roll with because they shot themselves in the foot with that kind of build for every that's the where people are like it's repetitive because they're not going to use clues. It's not a coherent story of why he's dead, and then he's dead, and then they're going to go up. He came back to life, and with my trusty assistant, we're going to go and grab the murderer. Like,
So according to the manga, it's saying the 12th episode anime covers multiple major cases, whereas the short-lived manga only adapts the initial cruise ship mystery before concluding. And then it's saying that the anime, they did the cruise ship portion
Right.
of the thing in the first 2 episodes.
yes. So basically, the whole first volume, I guess, is in the first episodes. Like, you're just kind of like, what? And that's why I mean, people were saying it doesn't flow. It doesn't,
That's crazy.
they just kept rolling back to the ideas of the theme of supernatural involvement and stuff and if you're going to sell it all with your eggs in one basket, at least make that interesting, not so. I mean, it didn't even feel like there's a give and take, like, what's a good example? Another anime where the hero may be able to use a power, but there's repercussions.
Mhm.
My
You know
Hero
what I mean?
Academia.
There you go. Yeah, My Hero is a great example. This didn't have that feeling. It's kind of like, oh well, and it's like, well, then if that's the way he's going to solve everything, and there's no repercussions really for it, who cares?
Just use it all the time.
Yeah. Hey, shoot me in the face, then I'll bust you right after. Like, what? It really missed its mark. It could have probably been cool if they stuck to some of the ideas, but it just misses its mark. So
Damn.
it looks like a disconnect really between the original writing and source, and then what they threw up on the screen is more just trying to catch people real quick, like a cheap filler kind of moment.
I guess that's also why it hasn't been announced for a season 2. Like, if you just blew through the
whole first, like
what do you have to write?
Yeah.
You're gonna end up like an old, like early 2000s, late 90s anime where they just started going off the cuff.
just random stuff going on.
Yeah. So the writer, let's see who the writer is, and we can thank them. It's like, the writer, the screenwriter, not the manga writer, because the manga writer might have been good. The screenwriter, though,
I did not mean for this to be an anime.
yeah, yeah. It was like I said, I do not recommend. And if anyone out there is a huge fan, I'm sorry. That's cool. I'm glad you liked it. The people who made this are glad you like it because you're one of the 15 people who did. So they appreciate you.
Oh wow, yeah. That was I don't want to say tragic, but when you start pulling the thread and you start looking like, how did this get greenlit?
Yeah. Who sat back and go, oh, they got 3,600 copies of this sold? Like, yeah, so does like Reader's Digest or something. It's like, come on, we're not going to make an anime out of this.
In this genre where you have Detective Conan, who's been, like Jackie said, going since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Right. And his manga still fucking top selling manga out there. Like, you're jumping in this genre as a supernatural detective. And you only sold this many. Like, maybe you should just.
I mean, yeah, you had one similar, like Black Butler, I think, and stuff like that, where it's supernatural, and they go and investigate stuff and whatever, or Vampire Princess Miyu for a really old school one. But it's like this just misses all of those like, even that dark atmosphere. That if someone's catching on, they're like, hey, I like the kind of dark mystery. It misses that complete. It's not dark at all. It doesn't feel dark. You're just kind of like, I don't know. So
it sucks.
Yeah,
that does suck.
I don't see the studio shutting down for that, but I mean, this is kind of a blemish, I would say, when you start towards it.
They seriously need a win, more recent win.
Well, they should look at something else. I don't know.
Yeah,
find a manga that has like a good following. I don't know.
Like, isn't it? You just look at the manga sales and be like, hey, or whatever's selling or whatever's hot in Shonen Jump or whatever.
Yeah.
Magazine is out. Be like, hey, let's do that one.
Yeah.
There's some like bad reviews though when I was looking up the studio though of people talking about that studio specifically, because even with them, like their biggest hit being Tokyo Revengers, a lot of people are like, can we please get another studio besides Liden Films to animate Tokyo Revengers so they can actually animate a scene correctly? So I guess like there's already been some like back and forth about this
Shots
studio. So
fired at
they need to
the
either
quality
completely revamp
control.
the studio itself and who the
Yeah.
screenwriters and the anime or whatever, or they're gonna go
Yeah.
go under.
Ah. Well, moving on to another. Sorry to lead with a spoiler, but another anime that I had high hopes for that has kind of underperformed for me is Snowball Earth. If you remember me talking about that,
Yep.
it's one with the young kid Tetsu, who's kind of paired with a mech. Yukio is the name of the mech. And they're out there just, destroying kaiju, protecting the earth, all of that stuff. He goes up to space, gets into this battle. The mech is on the verge of blowing up, ejects Tetsu back to Earth. By the time his escape pod opens up, Earth is all frozen over, all of this stuff. So it's like a post-apocalyptic thing. It was giving me vibes when you look at the animation, again, done by Studio Kai, who is the pedigree is there again. You're looking at it, it looks beautiful. The desolate locations, things like that, the music, everything kind of draws you in. I think the thing for me that gets me is like when you have these episodes where the main character is wallowing in kind of self-depression, just
Mm-hmm.
I'm alone, I did this wrong, I was supposed to save the world, and he's just the whole season just like wallowing. And he meets new characters, and there are things that arise where problems or troubles that could easily be solved, right? Easily be just solved if the character would just kind of just speak like a normal person, right? He's just in this self spiraling depression the whole time, and it's just like I understand, like I could give you the first few episodes, and then like you kind of got to get out of it at a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he doesn't, and I don't know if this is how it's supposed to go in the manga. I would always err on the side of they are trying to be true as possible to the manga when it comes to this, but it's just you kind of get over it after a while, right? It's just it's
Yeah.
almost annoying, and it's not like an annoying like Black Clover Asta where it's just like I can't get into it because the character is annoying, like the voice and stuff. It's just, bro, like people would love for you to just participate or be an active participant in the world. Like, hey, yes, some fucked up shit happened to you. That's cool, but this is the situation we're in now, and we need you to carry your weight, kind of. You just,
Yeah.
it's that, right? And there is one comment that I'm looking on my anime list, like it's a 6.95, right? And it's kind of fluctuating on that one. I want to read where's this dude was kind of yeah. There was I can't find it. But essentially the person was kind of saying the same thing. It was just more they had high hopes for it. Animation is cool. The kind of the premise is cool. Getting back to the boy and his mech kind of thing. But it's just he's just I don't know. It's hard for me to explain. Like
Yeah, I'm reading some of the comments right now that people are saying. They said
Right.
that it reminds them that like of a Gurren Lagann if you watch that.
Mm.
And that's like I like Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the vibe I was getting. Like I hope this gets to that point, right?
Yeah. But a lot of people are saying they stopped watching it after episode 7
Mhm.
because they were waiting to see like where this was going because of the main character. But then I guess when the villain showed up, and they said the same thing, it just got really annoying. They were over it at this point. There's too much crying, and the interesting setup in the earlier episodes is lost amongst the silliness of what's happening. Like that's what a lot of people
Mm.
are like saying with this. Now, a lot of people are also saying, well, at episode 11 and on, it gets better, I guess.
There's only 13
But
episodes in the season.
oh, so the last
That's what I'm saying, right? You're just
They're
like,
just
what
like,
Oh
it's
my God.
yeah, what's going on?
is happening? And then you're just like, here
That's
we
so
go. And it's just
stupid.
like, Crunchyroll also
Mm,
recommends this. You're like, why isn't it going the next episode? Oh, this is the end of the
Yeah.
this
season.
is
Like,
it, buddy. This
God
is
damn.
what we brought you. Like, oh.
But to its defense, right? When you're looking at the pacing,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, I heard the
it's
pacing was pretty bad too.
no, like it's kind of spot on, right?
Hmm.
So you're looking at it, and it
Oh.
covers in 13 episodes, kind of like 20-ish chapters or so. So it's not like it's speeding
It's
through
not rushed, yeah.
like 4 chapters an episode or something like that, right?
Mhm.
So you're looking at it like the pacing is there, but I don't know if that's enough for me to be like, oh, let me go pick up the manga. If
Yeah.
manga, or if it's this true to the manga, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's I don't know if Tetsu's gonna be one of those characters where I'm just like, I can't because you're in it. Like it's
Yeah.
already been announced. The second season's been announced, right? So it got picked up, which is cool. Yay for them. Is this something where I want to pick up the manga and read? Because like it's 21 chapters
Mm.
that have been put into these 13 episodes, which it's pretty good when you're looking at it like, what is that, about 1.5, a little under 2
Yeah.
chapters per episode, right? So it's not bad. So you're getting the story. It's just, I don't know what it is about this main character. There's just like the initial thing where you're seeing him with his mech and everything, that you get all that, you get that hype. You're like, all right, yeah,
Yeah.
space, let's do this. And there's these awkward moments where you could tell he's a kid. He does kid-like things, mistakes that are looked at as like goofy oopsies and things like
Mhm.
that. And then he comes back to Earth. So I can understand, he's forced to like grow and learn and accept responsibility and all this other stuff and deal with his emotions. But at a certain point, like it either snaps like that happened. This is the situation now. This is what I have to do to survive. Because if I do want to be the savior that I think everybody looks at me to be, I have to first get out of the situation I'm in now. I have to
Right.
first learn to adapt to do all of this stuff in order to get to the point where I can hopefully maybe find my mech again and save the world, or however it works, save the world now somehow. But he's just in this, and I would say as humans, we've been there where it's just like you're down on yourself. You're your own worst critic. But I don't know. It's just I'm hoping it picks up. Like you said, the later episodes, you're just like, all right, here we go. And then it's like season 1 done. You're like, fuck off, bro.
Yeah.
Why make me do all that? So they don't say when the next season is started, but a lot of these spring ones that ended in June, a lot of them, I would say majority of them are saying like sometime in the winter, early 2027, that their second seasons will be popping up. So I would say probably first quarter of 27 that we'll probably see second season of Snowball Earth. But again, like it's not so much the animation, it's not the music, it's not the art, it's none of that stuff. It's more of, I think, just the character, how it's written, and maybe in future episodes, maybe it picks up and you're just like, okay, I can forgive the first season for
Yeah.
dragging like it is. So,
But do you feel like it's like something you can just wait for though to see what people say before you try it?
100%, 100%. Like if you haven't started watching this, wait until the second season comes out, or if you want, you can pick up the manga. It's saying you can start looking at chapter 22 and move forward, or just read the manga so you can speed up to get to the part where you're just like, okay, this may be worth the watch. Or if you just read the manga, you're like, do I need to watch it at all? But
Yeah.
if you are not a manga reader and you'd rather watch the show, give this let this one marinate. Wait till the second season comes out and start seeing what the reviews are then, and then kind of jump into it, because it's only 13 episodes. You can breeze through it. But if this is done with the specific purpose of hella character development, to where he turns and there's a huge, like, arc, and you look at him from season 1 to when this anime ends, and you're just like, fucking right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's my guy. Like, it can go down like that. I don't know. But let me just say, because I'll tell the truth. Watching Naruto the first time, I'm like, this kid is fucking annoying.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and
like,
you had to build on it. Yeah,
I'm here for Sasuke. He's the cool motherfucker out here.
Yeah.
But then, like, again, one of the greatest character arcs in anime history, you see where he was at in the beginning to where he's at
Mhm.
now, and you're just like, that was a fucking ride. I love
Yeah.
it. So maybe that's it for this one. But like I said, 6.7 on the my anime list. Again, not a lot of reviews for that one. 7.9 IMDb, Crunchyroll 4.8. So take that with a grain of salt. I'd wait for season 2 to see how that works out before tuning in if you haven't watched the first season.
cool. What
All
you
right.
got, Jackie?
Well, I feel like we've been on like a really low.
No,
a lot of
it's been
anime.
bad. It's been bad.
Bring us
So
up.
I'm just gonna bring us up.
All right. Positivity.
So my last recommendation that I said on the last podcast was Nippon Sengoku,
Yep.
which if everyone remembers this one is only on Amazon Prime.
Mhm.
And this one had to do with Japan has basically gone into like a post-apocalyptic time period, and there's like 3 different sanctions that are like running Japan now, and then there's a lot of like military strategy and manipulation and stuff like that. I was like, okay, this looks really cool. I'm gonna try it. Everyone has said that the top 3 animes for spring was Witch Hat Atelier, Demons of the Shadow Realm, and then this one, Nippon
Yep.
Sengoku.
Mm.
And I will tell you, like, that first episode, I was bawling my eyes out. It is so good. The animation style's really, really cool. The drawn, because it reminds me a lot of Uzumaki, what it could have been, but the animation, like, with that, because and it does a really good job where it makes everything look really bleak, and then when the blood is a thing, like, it's very red, and they focus on a lot of that. When you go through different sanctions, sometimes some of the sanctions have, like, a color that's, like, way more, uh, um what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's prominent, and then they'll like purposely like leach the color out of other things, so it's like focuses on things. So I really liked how like it did that throughout like the shows. In the beginning, there's a lot of world building, so it talks a lot about the like political genre and things that are going. So I did have to like research and Google stuff while I was like watching it to remember what they were talking about and what some of the things were, and like I had to rewatch a couple like scenes because there is a lot. So prepare for that in the beginning. But then once it starts getting into like the middle part episodes where now like it has like an exam, kind of like how some other animes have like an exam as well.
Mhm.
But this one, like you have to put the leader of like this rebellious group, you have to put him on his knees essentially. And the way that they go about it with the main character was like really cool and it was different. But the main character that it that follows is sorry, let me get his name again because ah, where did I have it? Oh my gosh. What the hair? I lost my thing. But anyways, the 2 main characters, one of them, like, cannot fight, just, like, cannot. Um, he, something, like, really drastic happens, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm gonna change the way that this world is, like, to a better world," because when it starts off, like, it starts off where it tells you, like, Japan was at its, like, tip top point, like, this around this time, 2026, if you will.
Yeah.
And then, like, nuclear war and all this stuff happened, and now, like, it basically puts Japan back into, like, a feudal era, um, where, like, there's no electricity or anything, and I had to look that up because 'cause I'm like, "Why is there no electricity? Like, why don't we just go back? Like, we have all these books, we have all this stuff that says the things that they did," but it's because, like, people are eyeing so much for power. You allow people to have access to technology again, then it's gonna make them like want more and try to strive for power themselves. So for the sanctions to keep power, like they just like don't want to bring that shit back. Um, but everyone wants like to have a like this rebellious group wants to have a better world. That's like the whole premise, and they want to like fix everything. And but they have to do it in a way that doesn't get them killed, because as soon as you decide that you want to go against whoever the leader is, like you're gonna die.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood, there's a lot of, oh gosh, they go back to the old torture methods with Japan, like where you're stretching your limbs until you pop.
Mm.
It's gory, like, it's pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of comedy in it as well, which is very fun, and the comedy's really good. On top of, like, the gore and, like, the really horrible and sad parts, and it's one of those ones, like, we've talked about this before in previous podcasts, but we really like when there's, like, a corrupt uh what hierarchy or corrupt government or corrupt whatever that's leading it, and you've got that group that like wants to go against that corruptness, and there's all this shit that just keep happening, and you get so angry, man. Like the main dude that's in charge of the sanction there is like, I cannot stand this guy and his
Yeah.
stupid fucking earlobes. Like I hate his kid like has this snotty nose, and this kid is also like just with his dad just trying to ruin shit, and you're just like, "Oh, I just wanna punch." I never wanted to punch a kid so bad in my life. Um, he's got boogers hanging from his nose constantly. It's yeah, the corruptness, it's kinda like it reminds me of when I first watched Game of Thrones, and I just, like,
Mm.
hated Cersei and Joffrey so bad. Like, it
Mm.
reminds me of this. So, like, that drama and that political tension is there, and in the middle episodes, like, that's where it starts really picking up and getting really good. The exam was super fun, and I really liked it. A lot of people compare it to Kingdom and Vinland Saga,
Mm.
especially. Um, the action is like it's more so dialogue heavy, I will say that, rather than action, but when the action does happen, it's kinda like Free Run. Like, that one's more story and
Yeah.
travel, but then when the action happens, it's, like, super sick and significant. That's
Yeah.
exactly what this one does. It's really cool. Um, it's mature storytelling too. So you kinda get out of that, like, shonen shoujo, you're more in, like, a seinen viewpoint, and it's, like, I think it's
I
rated
think that's what
10 for
drew me to this series too, is it did the mature themes and mature characters.
yeah. Yeah, the only bad thing I can say about it is just in the beginning, it is a lot of, like, this is everything that's going on, so I had to, like, look up stuff and watch it a couple times and go back to remember, because there's a lot that's going on, but then once that gets explained and stuff and you start getting into, like, all the other things, you're like, "Oh, yeah, this is sick." And the other thing that sucks is it's not on Crunchyroll, so if people don't have on Amazon Prime, like, my fear
Mm.
is at the end of this year when, like, we have the freaking Crunchyroll Anime Awards or whatever the case is, like, this is gonna be one of those ones that just gets missed because people aren't watching it. I hope it does
Yeah.
move to another platform besides Amazon Prime, um, but it's already been there's a season 2 has been approved, it's just they don't know when. Um,
Is it
it's
High
got
Dive that's associated with Amazon Prime? Are they associated, or is that
I
Um,
don't
'cause I've seen recommendations for
know.
High Dive stuff on Prime, and I didn't know if that was something coming down the pipeline that, because now Prime is pushing a lot of stuff for, what is it? There's someone else they just recently acquired,
I don't know. But it
but
got an 8.5 on Mal, 8.3 on IMDb. Apparently, the lowest score of its, episode was, like, 8.5, and the highest score one of its episodes got was a 9.7.
wow.
So, like, this anime is just, like, hitting consistently, and I super recommend it. I did not expect the main character to be how he was. Um, it's definitely refreshing. Uh what he is interested in and what his talent is like agriculture. Um, and like what he knows about agriculture, because he believes that what's going to change the world and what makes you more the superpower is your ability. Because if people's morale is down, they're not getting fed.
Hmm.
How are they going to fight for you?
right.
That's his whole thing, and, like, that's the driving factor for, like, this guy's skill, and then he ends up pairing up, like, the other main character's like a samurai, and their relationship's really fun. That's where the comedy, a lot of that comes into play with them, and, Yeah, it's really great. I love it. I'm not done with it. I think I'm on like episode 7 or 8.
Mhm.
Right now there's 12. But so far, man, like yeah, the animation, the opening song's really cool. I like listening to it. It's like a old uh Japan style, like with the I forget what that instrument is called. Um, but then add a little bit of modern twist. It's with if you guys know Ash Nico, um, and I forget what the other artist's name is. Oh shit, I'm mixing up intros. I That's a lie. That is not who does that intro. I'm mixing up intros right now. But the intros that's definitely has the old style. Like I forget what that freaking uh instrument is called.
The
Um
Shimasen?
yes, thank you. But it's got like the modern like it puts like a poppy twist onto it. So it's
Cool.
really cool. Yeah, highly recommend. Big sleeper anime because people I
Excellent.
don't think are watching this enough, but I think a lot of people are talking about it. That makes people want to watch it though, which is really really good. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping it is definitely a contender up there for like, if not anime of the year, definitely like best new anime of the year,
Yeah.
original for sure. Because I don't think that there's a manga. I don't remember if I
There
saw
it
one or
is.
not. Oh, there is. Okay.
Mhm.
So yeah, y'all gotta watch it if you haven't started it yet.
Oh, I definitely want to. It's on my list. So
I concur. I concur. 100%. It's already been, like you said, picked up for a second season.
Yeah.
All of that stuff. Nothing but good things. I've read about it. You have your people, obviously, if you go to my anime list, people will be like, I don't recommend because of blah, blah, blah. It's whatever. This is one of those, give it a shot. Give it 3
yeah.
episodes. I say give it 3. Because there's a lot of world building and narrative that has to happen so you understand what the fuck's going on. And then
Mhm.
they don't dwell too much on it. They kind of build it the first episode and a half, and then they let you in with the characters, and it's a great watch. So nothing but good things.
Word. Sounds good.
All right, take us home, EJ.
All right. So my last pick in the spring was Rooster Fighter. And I have to say that out of my 3, this is shockingly the best one.
Oh, that's
I
so
would totally
sick.
recommend this for nothing else but a pure enjoyment of action and comedy. It is a total palate cleanser, and the art is 10 times better than it has any right to be for this kind of series. This series is purely satire. It pokes fun at the all action, high powered, characters. And I think that's the only area where it gets kind of the hard review is I think the diehard fans of those genres that kind of, I don't know if they get in their feelings over it, but IMDb gave it a 7. Even though there's a lot of the naysayers are there. My anime list gave it a 7.4 and Crunchyroll is a 4.2, even though it just recently got to Crunchyroll. I guess the episodes weren't available for a little while. So that may change now that availability has come back. But I'm telling you, the voice acting on the sub is outstanding. I mean, the main character, I gotta look at his name again, but his his voice actor sounds like an old school samurai for real. I mean, just like if
Oh,
you
that's
watched
sick.
any kind of, it's just like he just makes him sound like such a badass. And even during the most hilarious content, you're like, this doesn't need to be tough at all. But he just sounds tough. And I mean, just to get the whole tongue in cheek going in this is the tagline for the series is one cock to save them all. It's a giant, or it's giant demonic kaiju invading Japan, and their last hope is this rooster, and he brings it to the table. I love every aspect of it. There are parts where it's obviously Easter eggs that are throwing shade at certain kinds of series, and you just got to watch it. I mean, of course, there's the intense buildup of power and the moment before an attack, just like old school Dragon Ball. You just have, if you're a fan of anime, especially any length of time, you're going to see aspects in here for Rooster Fighter where they've pulled in stuff everybody loved from old school stuff to new school stuff. And if you can't sit back and laugh at it, like some of the reviewers are like, "Oh, this is all just a waste of time. I can't believe they wasted such artistic, resources and stuff." I'm like, bro, take it for what it is. It is definitely flipping the script as far as what the norm is. It's all hilarious. It's not meant to be taken seriously. The battles though, the action and the voice content on the sub is just it's dope. I mean, you're watching a chicken take on a giant demon, a demon kaiju, and you're just like this combat is top notch. You're just like you're watching him roll to punch. I mean, you're just like this chicken is or this rooster is for real. This was a pleasant surprise. I recommend it to anyone, especially like I said, as a palate cleanser in between. If you're watching, you don't even need to watch multiple episodes. It's not like you're stuck to a story here that you're just like, I got to see the end. You could just be watching, like Jackie was mentioning, where there's hardcore gore parts in a certain series, or you just had like a seriously crushing emotional episode, and you're like, damn, and you just take a break for a minute. You throw this on, you're all good again because it's fun. I mean, I watched the whole thing. I have no complaints. I'd watch it again. There's still scenes that make me laugh now. So I hope everyone gives it a try. I give it 4 ramen bowls out of 5 for
Nice.
the eat the cake, just because of the fun. If you're willing to go in and just have fun and just appreciate the artist doesn't hold back. I mean, the combat scenes and stuff, the shading, the action, the directing following the action, the way that they put the storyboards together, it's a top-notch action anime. It really is, but it's just with the most ridiculous themes and setting, and the character just makes you. I mean, like I said, he sounds like a pure bat. It reminds me like old school like samurai animes, like Ninja Scroll and stuff. Where you're just like, these samurais sound badass, but it's a freaking rooster, dude. It's just so fun. And then to see them like struggle in certain fights, and then he's like he's gonna keep getting back up to fight, and you're just like, they make him so heroic. It's hilarious.
That's so sick.
It is, and I really hope everyone gives it a shot. Check it out, if nothing else, just to see the certain parts that may remind you, that they're definitely throwing Easter eggs out to something you enjoy, be it Dragon Ball or any of the combat kind of high action anime that are out there. Especially with anyone's that kind of center around a hero. Like, of course, there's parallels, with Kaiju number 8, which is near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
Love that show. But anything with Kaiju in it, you expect these grand scale, things, and they don't disappoint. I mean, the Kaiju attacks in the town and everything, the art doesn't give way to flimsy kind of like, just background noise. You're like, wow, they took the time. It looks good. Excellent watch in my opinion. Like I said, 4 bowls. This was fun.
Yeah, I love that it actually ended up being good, because sometimes with anime like that, it ends up, because I think I recommended a while ago I forget what it was called. It was like the zombie cat one, where
Yeah.
like all the cats were chasing you, and that one was a satire too. But I ended up dropping it because it ended up not like being that good.
Mm,
So there's always a risk to take with like animes like that, and that's really
yeah.
sick that ends up
Yeah.
being like actually like really really good as a satire.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I hope everybody else does too. So
It sounds like it did. No second season obviously announced yet.
yeah, it doesn't really need one.
It's one of those, like you said, it's just 12 episodes in the first season, easy weekend watch if you want to knock it out. Each episode covers about 2.5 chapters per episode, so nothing too crazy, but
Pacing slow.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, it's to me, it's everything you said, EJ. Turn it on, just sit back and enjoy it. There's no deep delve, greater arc of a story being told.
Exactly.
No, it's not your Nippon Sangoku or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
This chicken's beating the fuck out of this monster.
It is.
That's all I'm here for. Is just to
Yeah.
watch the rooster destroy a dino.
And it's really cool because I mean, if you've ever read any manga, if you're a fan of it, the way that they draw action scenes and the way that they use shading and perspectives to try to convey that to you, like how the fight scenes going in the manga. In the anime, they were able to bring that over, like I said, with the storyboards, to where when he is attacking, it's Hiji, I think is his name. When he's attacking or in a combat, you feel that tradition to the art, like the throwback, like, hey, this definitely comes from a manga. You could actually picture the manga frames in your mind because the way the action sequences hit. Like you've seen it before with characters where they show the streaks of lines behind their head or their expression when it's, shocking. And you're like, that's a throwback and giving props to the old school. And they do that here with this in a good way too.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. But
Yeah.
that's our picks and our reviews for all the ones we picked for spring. We do have one or two that we do want to bring up for the summer. So without further ado, let's get into our anime look ahead for summer.
Ooh,
All right.
look at that.
Jack,
Like it.
I know a little 4K, little satellite weather screen in the back. Oh, I dig it. So what do you got for us? Like, what is one anime that you're looking for this summer came up and you're just like, ooh, this is on my radar? What is it?
So the one that I had a few, but the one I will talk about because
Mhm.
actually when I was looking at this, I was like, I actually have not been hearing anything about any anime besides some returning ones. So when I started doing research, I was like, oh, actually, there's like some like interesting ones
Yeah.
coming out. And one of the ones I want to talk about, it's on Netflix already.
Mhm.
So a few episodes are already out. I watched the first episode. It's called Sparks of Tomorrow.
Yes.
So this one looks really good. I love the animation. I really like the nods to like history and where electricity comes from, but obviously they're gonna put a little bit of their own flair on it with like Thomas Edison and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But overall, it's a steampunk inspired historical sci-fi romance. That's a lot of genres set in an alternate version of early 20th century Kyoto where humanity advanced through steam technology instead of electricity. So, that's what everyone's about. Everyone's about steam. If you even try to, like, show electricity or any notion towards that, like, immediately, like, you're gonna get arrested. Like, they don't want any type of electricity being the case. I don't know why yet. I'm still, like, in the beginning stages of it, but it's like, if they find out that you're doing anything like that, you're gonna get, arrested.
Mm.
So the story follows Kihachi Sakamoto, who's a young inventor who dreams of bringing back the age of electricity. And then this girl, her name is Inako Momokawa, who's from a sake brewing family who carries her own hidden grief and dreams. And their lives collide when they discover this catalog that's labeled as the 20th century electrical catalog. And the catalog was written by supposedly, but it was written by Kihachi's brother, who I think like we don't know exactly what happened to him yet, but he went to the war and he just hasn't come back.
Right.
And so his
Mm.
brother is so what happened is Kihachi actually left this book with I think this girl's sister is what it was, or someone of her family. And the whole thing was to make sure this book gets to Kihachi. So now Kihachi has the book, and it's basically everything there is to know about electricity, how to make sure that it comes back, how to set it up, and so it's very controversial. And there's this one guy, and I can't remember his name, but I don't know like where he's coming from or what he's a part of. If he's part of like the army or some company, but he knows about this inventor and he knows about this book, and he's been searching for it. So he comes to the house where that book is supposed to be at to marry the girl.
Oh,
So
you
that
talk
way
the I guess
the
what is
white haired, it's always a white hair. There's always a white haired dude.
let me see.
He's he's very eccentric.
Yosuke?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's Yosuke. So
Yeah.
he is like the way that he's animated and how obsessed he is with this book is like it's very funny. Um, but like he wants to find this book, so he wants to marry this girl. Well, unbeknownst to him, the book is already left to go find the brother so that way he can have it. And so
Mm.
he like the way he walks and everything, the way they animate this is
Over the
very
top.
like, dude, it's really
Flash
great. The
point.
animation, yeah, the animation's really, really great. I really love it. But he finds the guy with or the brother, Kihachi, sorry, and the book, and he's like, there you are, my wife. And like the guy, obviously the
All
brother
in his
gets,
ear.
yeah, he's like, oh, what the hell? So I think that's gonna be a fun dynamic, with just like how their relationship is going to be. Oh, yeah, thank you. Um, the like I said, the genre historical. I've been really getting into historical type things lately. This scene right here, by the way, with the freaking lights and how they actually animated this, dude, it's so cool. Also, the main character, the brother, the older brother, reminds me of Rengoku a little bit, as well as the sound Hashira. I forget his name. I don't know why, but the way he's like drawn and his personality reminds me a lot
Mhm.
of them. But, yeah, and, like, this guy, when he starts talking about electricity, the way they animate how he's like, "Oh, you wanna know this?" It's, like, very funny, like, there's that comedic,
How they the
right here.
part found you my wife. He's like, who the
Yeah,
hell?
it's funny. Um, but, there's more of an appeal towards sign-in audiences, so this is gonna be more of a mature audience, which is cool. There is romance in it, and I think it's between that guy and that girl. Um And then, sorry, some other things that I wanna bring up. Let me get to it. The creator is, name is Hiro Yuki. Um, this is, like, there's not really anything else the creator's, like, known for, but it's based off of a, light novel, though, so there's no manga. So there's no manga that's been created for this, it's just a light novel. And, the oh my gosh, animation studio is Kyoto Animation or KyoAni, so they're known for Violet Evergarden,
Mm,
K-On!, Clan After, so about great storytelling that's gonna
yeah.
be coming with this, and the animation, like, you got if anyone that's watched Violet Evergarden seen that animation, like, this
Yeah,
is we're
it's
also doing this. As
outstanding.
you can see, the colors are, like, freaking great. The director, this is his debut, but the series composition person that's on this as well, they've worked on Violet Evergarden, so you have some of the original teammates and members, like, with this. Like, look at the detail on those pipes, like, this is nuts. There
Yeah.
is a little bit of CGI into it, but it's not the main focus, which is
Oh, it's
cool.
blended well, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the big thing. It's just
yeah,
how to blend that 2D and 3D together. So
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
with the Berserk 2016,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
But so far, like, that first episode, like, Steven and I watched it, we're like, "Yeah, this is, like, this can be really good." A lot of, like, what the internet's saying is, KyoAni, the as I already said, the studio's known for emotional stories, so we think this is gonna be an emotional, journey that we're gonna go on with this. A lot of people are saying this definitely feels different from typical seasonal anime. The visuals are expected to be a major strength, which we've already seen. Um and just like the nod to, like, the industrial change and industrial evolution and Western technology going into Japan, all of that with the modernization, I think is really cool,
mhm.
um, with the dystopia type feel, so a lot of it, I this is really fun. I'm really excited for this one. Like I said, I only watched 1 episode, so but even that 1 episode, I was like, "Okay, yeah, I really, really,
Yeah, they didn't do it. They didn't. How do they call it? It's not a binge release, like where they drop all the episodes out.
Right. It's coming out every
It's
week.
like every Sunday a new episode comes out. So
Yeah, July 6th, I think, was when it actually dropped. So, like I said, like, there's only 3,
yeah,
4 now episodes?
yeah, four. I think the fourth one's dropping tomorrow. I might be
Yep.
off, but um, I I had this on my list too.
Yeah.
Just looking at it. Um, anything steampunk, you
Yeah.
know, you animate that shit, bro. I'm there. I'm there.
mhm.
I just love the creativity, the freedom it gives people for their designs and things. Because
Mhm.
there's another and like back in the beginning when we started this, we were talking about shows to put on your radar. There was a one that was steampunk, but a racer. I think it was like opera, Apare Ranman, where
Mm.
it's like a steampunk era, and it was a race to get across the country to win a prize and all that stuff. And each automobile ran on this. It's very like very. Each one had its own unique steam powered engine and things like that in its design. So when I saw this one, like the trailer got me one the just
Mhm.
visuals, like when they're running through the forest and you have the string of lights there and they're dreaming of this
Yeah.
thing of electricity. It is kind of like water brushed, but then the characters are hand drawn with the visuals brought me in. The character design, how they go from being very stoic and serious to, oh, you want to talk about electricity?
Yeah.
Lips get off. I just love that, yes, this is serious, but there are some lighthearted moments too. So it's not
Yeah.
like watching a strict drama the whole time. So
Yeah.
Sparks of Tomorrow 100% is on there. And like Jackie said, Netflix only at this point. So
Okay.
yeah. What you got, EJ?
Well, I had picked a few, but like I said, I picked one that was a spring pick. Jackie just went over. But I picked one that was a spring pick because it was listed. But out of all of my picks that I did horribly wrong, the only one that was not done incorrectly was the I got to look at the hold on, I got to look at the English version real quick. I'm reading in all the Japanese names here.
You can read Japanese?
No. That's why I need to switch to,
I was about
it's the
I thought
from
it should be like a little-
overshadowed to overpowered. Well, I do know some kanji words, but they're very basic to like communicate with your family. That's
okay.
it. Because nothing useful here. It's like, God feed me, please. I'm dying. That kind of stuff. So I could say that to my family over in Okinawa. But the one that I picked that is actually from the summer release is the From Overshadowed to Overpowered. It's the it's from a web I guess a web. I'm not really big into the web mangas. I don't know if that means they're
webtoon?
only but no, it calls it a web manga. I
Ugh.
don't know if that means it's only an electronic print, which would be weird because a lot of the draw for manga in general is the individuals go to a manga store and pick up the books. You know what I mean? So I don't know how it is probably a webtoon and they're just calling it a web manga. But it's interesting. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fantasy world building, but it seems to have a decent following as far as the web series goes. So people seem to like what I hear is people seem to like the way in which they've built a decent world and the way in which powers and magic is growing in this storyline. So the art is good. I would say it's not top tier for me, but with the expansion, like recently I've been watching a couple of other of these they're not mad. One that I've been watching recently is more of a Magic Academy one, and I believe Jen covered that when we all had the show not too long ago. But in that same vein of like young magicians trying to attain higher levels of power, and this individual is basically similar to that story, as in the fact that he's completely talentless, or he's not good with magic at all. So once again, we're dealing with an underdog story, which I usually like. So as long as it, grows and the character is interesting, which the main character seems to be, he's not super heroic, but at the same time, you admire his determination. Like, and then you see the rewards of that determination almost immediately. Like he discovers that he is much more talented than at first believe, without any spoilers out there. But let me see when it premiered, the actual premiere date. Great, they're not going to show me the actual premiere date. I will find it. But it only no, that's not what I'm trying to search for.
Is this because like looking at the trailer, it's given kind of like the standard those one isekais where like somebody dies and then they're like reborn in another world, and for whatever reason like they have all the powers.
Yeah, so he was always considered like less, but then there is a huge, I didn't want to spoil it, but yes, there is a reincarnation portion to the story as far as a great deal of time lapses, and that's when, due to the situation, he learns that he is more gifted or capable than he thought before his
Right.
reincarnation. So yes, you're nailing the head there, but a lot of that is plays into the whole overall plot. So
But
you'll
it's a
pick that up very quickly when the story starts.
it's a reincarnation in that world, right? Like he was born
Yes.
in that world, so it's not like it's not isekai.
Yeah, it's
Isekai.
not isekai as far as him traveling to another fantasy, but more of traveling within his own fantasy world, but becoming a new character in what would be almost like a new world because so many it's like centuries have passed.
Yes.
So to him, it is kind of like a whole new world. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Because it's been like I can't I think it's like 300 or 400 let me see.
Since
Yeah,
he
400 years since he passed is
Mm.
when he's reincarnated. So to him, it would be like kind of like an isekai where you're going into a whole new world, even though
Yeah.
it's not technically.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it comes from they keep calling it web novel or web manga. So
I want to say it's I want to think it's more of a webtoon, like kind of like how
yeah,
Tower of God,
Yeah.
yeah,
uh,
exactly.
Ordinary.
level high school was it God of High School or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
those
Yeah.
other ones? Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of those, I feel like people are throwing out some interesting new ideas, and I liked that approach to this as far as the reincarnation. It's a reincarnation, but in the same world, not in another world. So it has little elements that are similar to what we've seen before, so you'll be familiar to you. But maybe the combination of those two and a fresh perspective kind of gives you the underdog who's no longer the underdog, but you don't have to wait through that whole first season of him not being an underdog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where you know it's coming. We all know from most of these stories, you're like, okay, season 2, they're gonna step out and be like, yo, I'm not an underdog anymore. But this, you kind of get that immediately. So that was one of the things I like too, is like we get to bypass the origin story of Spider-Man and get right back to seeing Spider-Man. Same
Yeah.
kind of idea, not having to watch Uncle Ben die for the 15th time. So in that aspect, I think it's got some potential. My other pick was a spring pick, but I wanted to mention it again because as for Slice of Life, which I'm not big on, Ramparts of Ice was actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's still popular right now as summer's kicking off because it was kind of a sleeper in spring.
Mhm.
So that's why it was on my list because I was like, man, I think it deserves more eyes. And if you've already watched other stuff from the spring and you got time this summer, Ramparts of Ice was done well as far as very relatable levels of characters. I can't explain it more so than it's something that most people have been part of growing up in their life experiences, be it from high school or college,
Mhm.
for a reason or another, choosing to take a chance and step out of your kind of introverted moments, be it for whatever reason drove you there, to that initial uncomfortable but necessary integration into a friendship group that kind of makes you grow. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
as far as a slice of life, and I like the art because the art feels very I don't know, raw and real is a way it's like like how Jackie likes to mention hand drawn. A lot of these slice of life ones seems to fall back on that, even if it's just for that nostalgia feeling of bringing you into. But the art's well done, and the character interactions and humor are done in a way that I feel is relatable. So I know it's
Mhm.
not technically a summer pick, but my other summer pick was garbage. I don't even talk about that one. So if you get a chance, since we did have some bad reviews, I'm trying to throw out stuff out that I think would be pretty good. So the overshadowed to overpowered seems like it's going to be in the same vein of the Magic kind of series I'm watching recently, and if you get a chance, the Ramparts of Ice is Ice Ramparts of Ice. Let me check. I don't want to be throwing out dumb stuff here, but it was a spring release, but it was definitely uh, worth a look, and I believe that's on Netflix right now. But
Oh,
Ramparts of Ice, yeah.
yeah, and it's definitely one that I would check out, especially like if you liked the feel of the social interactions for like the summer Hikaru died, where it felt really authentic between the characters outside of
Mhm.
the supernatural, but just this has that same kind of feel where it feels believable and relatable. So, but overshadowed to overpowered is seems to be a popular webtoon, and I could see why because some of the themes that we're used to, but I do like the combination of the reincarnation theme with the feeling of the isekai as well. So that's what I have for summer as far as what I got. So, what you got for us?
So I got and hear me out, because what I don't want is for people to be like, but Mac, that's not new. And it's more of a, not a reimagining, because I feel the original was more of a reimagining than this one here. And what I'm talking about is Ghost in the Shell, right?
Mm.
So if you're not tracking, Amazon Prime has is running the series of Ghost in the Shell. For those that know, the OG one, I think, was back in the 90s, 95 or whatever, was done in a very grimy, kind of more serious, more stoic. The main character, Motoko, was very serious, very stoic when it comes to the cyborg human thing. What this one is doing, which is done by Studio Science Sanru, which is, as you know, Dan Dan,
Yeah.
from Takes Off, Devilman Crybaby.
Cryberry.
So they're very known for bringing their fluid, hyper expressive style and animation, facial expressions, and they also work in that kind of very comedic, lighthearted kind of thing, which if you read the manga, that's more of how it went along. So the original 95 movie took all of that stuff out, focused on the serious, underground crime conspiracy stuff, which, again, not to take anything from it, it's a classic, hands down, no matter what. But that is what I knew Ghost of the Shell was. So when I read this and found out that this was going back to the kind of the quirky 80s and 90s humor that was found in the pages of the manga by I think it's Masamune. I can't say her name. Last name Shiro's. I was just like, oh, this is a whole nother side that I didn't realize, right? So you begin looking at it and you're just like, man, this is I'll play the trailer for it. But it just put a whole new spin on it to, I guess, fleshing out the characters more, seeing like, yeah, they could be going through something serious, but also still have time to kind of kick back and hang out, right? So the director, Moko-chan, this is their series directorial debut. So they're breaking kind of like the movie, this, and I think what was the other one? Complex? Or I'm trying to think.
Standalone Complex, yeah.
Yes, Standalone Complex. So they're breaking those down into actual episodic series. And again, they're dropping one episode a week over on Amazon. I think the newest one dropped today. So these drop every Saturday. And I know Sparks of Tomorrow drops every Sunday, or vice versa. I just know it's weekend drops for these here. But just leaning more into the vibrant retro cyberpunk aesthetic, very vibrant, because you could tell automatically by the colors already, like this is way different than what we saw in the 95 one, right?
Oh yeah, very different.
The human brains, which are called ghosts, directly interface with the net, and the transition every time they go into that is very, very vibrant, very, it just gives it a whole new look. Like most people would probably look at this as a what you call it, like when video games or Bethesda, here's Skyrim again, super remastered for this console or something like that.
Yeah,
this isn't it. It's more of a return to, I guess, the source material, which I feel like the first 3 episodes I've watched, I'm enjoying it. I can see, and again, here's where I don't want people to come after me. I can see in a world where someone who has watched the 95 adaptation, right? And then they watch this one, and at the end of the day, they say, this new one is my favorite adaptation of the source material. I could possibly lean that way, just because instead of a very cold, super stoic all the time, main character protag, the fact that when she's hanging with her crew, they do some lighthearted stuff. And the fact that this is kind of what the original, the creator of this world and this series kind of intended for. I think I lean more towards that. Like, if this is what the creator wanted me to see, then that's fine. I'm all for it. Like, I'd rather see this than the 95 one, not to take away from the 95 one. Again, it was very well done, but I'm looking at this one like, this is, I dig it. You know,
Yeah.
I dig it.
Mm.
So this was my pick. I thought it was just going to be a frame for frame kind of reanimation of the
Yeah.
95 one, but when I saw it was being dropped as episodes, I think that piqued my curiosity more, because I'm like, they're going to
Mm.
be able to tell more of this
Mhm.
world doing it this way. Kind of when you're looking at like these Disney Plus things and stuff, like you can drop a movie to try to, like Avatar, right? Last Airbender.
Mhm.
You know, you could do that bullshit ass movie that tried to cover all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Milan. Or you can kind of do what Netflix did and kind of break it out into like 9 1-hour episodes. That gives you 9 hours to tell this story rather than 90 minutes or some change, right? So
Mhm.
that's another reason I'm looking forward to it is, hey, give me more of this world, give me more of the story, and give me another side of everything that was in the original movie and the sequel, I guess. So
Yeah. Yeah.
100% Ghost in the Shell, the 2006 over on Amazon. What you got, EJ?
Oh no, I was just saying that it's very much it seems like they're going with the tradition of Ghost in the Shell, as far as even the merch from the late 80s, early 90s to stuff that was all manga, or early 90s, which is all manga. The release of the movie was more also pitched to be sold more in the United States, like I don't know, like a cyberpunk, Blade Runner kind of feel. That's why it was more
Yeah.
dark, but like the mangas had like the I don't know, like the little robots that they ride in and stuff. I can't remember the name of them. But anyway, the personalities between them and the other characters, because they're AI, the little like SWAT robots and stuff, they all talk and stuff, and there's more of a
Yeah.
relation, and it hints towards that in the movie. So it's kind of nice to hear that they're doing that with this series to kind of flesh out more to these characters, because the movie is, like you said, it's very late 80s, early 90s detective, noir, dark, smoking, sitting around like everything sucks.
Yeah.
The world is dark. Everyone
Yeah.
sucks.
And
And
I
it's like,
think
yeah,
it's
we know it sucks.
I'm grungy.
Yeah.
a good little Men in Black, memory wipe thing for those who
Mm.
actually went to the theater to see the live action Ghost in the
Oh.
Shell, which
Yeah, I
was
heard that was awful.
I was, it's one of those movies where you question how dedicated to anime should I be, you know?
It,
Do I need to be that person that's just like, oh, it's a movie based on an anime, based on a manga, I gotta see it, and you're sitting in the
Yeah.
theater like,
like,
well
yeah.
played, Hollywood.
Yeah.
Well played.
I mean, it's the same thing they're doing with all the Disney movies. Like, how
Yeah.
dedicated to Disney am I
Yeah.
by
Well, I'm
watching
talk-
Moana 2 in live action? Like, after Moana 2 literally just came out like fucking 6 years ago. So
chill out, Disney. You're doing too much.
Mhm.
But
I mean, we don't need a live action of like every single Disney movie, like Aristocrats or Cats or whatever. Like,
yeah.
let's not. Let's not. There's not a market for it, please. It's like, I
But,
don't want to see it.
yeah, there's way more, and we'll probably do the next episode talking about where we can kind of talk more like we did with the spring one, give more than just one. But I do want to roll into actually kind of talking about this the Darmu. Did I say that right? Probably.
Daruma.
Daruma.
Doruma.
Dormammu. I've come the bar.
Dormammu. Yeah.
We're making our own language over here.
Hey.
Doctor Strange type stuff. But talk about that and then compare their winners compared to who won over for the Crunchyroll thing. So I guess this would be getting back to our regularly scheduled programming.
Yep.
So like we talked about, we did our Crunchyroll live reaction. Shout out to everybody who commented and watched on that. But the Daruma Awards, the difference is they specifically celebrate the French anime and manga market at the Japanese Expo that's held in Paris, where Crunchyroll is kind of focused on the global streaming community, right? So in order to be nominated or to win here, your anime or your manga has to be translated into French, right? Which I'm assuming that's a pretty big market. So I would say a lot of
I don't know if there's any anime that hasn't been
not,
translated to
right.
French. Yeah.
So, and if I'm lying, if somebody can call me out and be like, well, this one isn't in French, so that's why I feel like it should win, but it won, then that's neither here nor there. But I know a lot of the major winners from Crunchyroll have actually been translated into French, so they should have been eligible to win here. However, when you're looking at the list, the top honor, which was Anime of the Year for Crunchyroll, went to My Hero Academia. For the Daruma, it was Gachiakuta.
Yeah.
That's as she was saying it at the Crunchyroll thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, any gripes with that one as far as, I know everybody was already predicting that My Hero would win based on it being final season, the emotion and all that stuff. But looking, the people over at Daruma was just like, we hear you, My Hero. That was an amazing, way to put a bow on that. But Gachiakuta, it has to have won that.
I completely support that decision.
None, Jackie?
I mean, no. Sorry, I was waiting for EJ.
Yeah.
I get it. It sucks when, like, obviously it's the last season, so I get, like, why people wanted My Hero to win and why Gachiakuta won. I mean, we talked about it before, like, if I was gonna pick Anime of the Year and Gachiakuta was a contender up there, and you look at that year, regardless if that's My Hero's last season, compared to other seasons of My Hero, that was not their best season, even though it was ending, compared to what Gachiakuta brought out.
Right.
And so, the way that the Daruma Awards do this, it makes the most sense, and it sucks to suck My Hero, but, like, maybe
Hey,
should have had a better final season.
This is just one
Well,
of those.
they've had their time in the spotlight. They did. They
Right.
have. They've held one of the highest positions for a while. Cool. Nostalgia shouldn't win them the year of the best for the year. And that's
or
what it did with
boo-hoo, it's your
Crunchyroll.
last season, so you should win.
That's what I'm saying. It's nostalgia. People are like, man, I'm gonna miss this. I enjoyed. True, that's awesome. But did it stand out as the best? I wouldn't have even put it above some of the others of the year that, I'm like, it was good. It was a good end. But what carried it was its popularity and nostalgia to get that award. I mean, honestly, it's not the best drawing. It's not the best music. It's not the best acting.
Right.
So what gave it best? Just because it's been around the longest out of the selection and it was ending? That's not a good way. And I feel like this one, at least they recognized completely original, ideas and, artwork and music and integration of it all into one, story and thinking outside the box. I mean, the weapons, the fighting system, everything with Gachiakuta was so spectacularly different than half the crap that we have to, we've seen come out in the last couple years. So it deserved that, in my opinion. But I understand the love for, long-standing. Shoot, man, I always vote for Kaijin number 8. And it's like, Kaiju, why?
That's only 2 seasons, man. I mean, My Hero's what, 7, 8, 10?
No, I thought it was 8.
I thought it was 8. 8 seasons.
8 seasons, right? So it's been off a minute,
Yeah.
Minute. So here's one of the things that people need to understand. Like, just because it didn't win this one doesn't mean it's not good.
Right.
It doesn't mean it's not good.
No, it's still a great series.
Successful anime, successful run by the studio that put it on. Voice actors, everybody did a great job. It's going to go down in history as one of the more influential anime, Came in right when the MCU was popping off, so superhero shit was big. Like it was a great show. But if you really sit down and look at in the judging period, what anime was really the best one?
Mhm.
I don't see how you don't say Gachiku.
Yeah,
I know.
I agree. I have a question though. Did it tell you like who the contenders were? We don't have to go through it, but I was just wondering if they have the Darumoroids have the same nominees as the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, or was it different?
Hold on, let me Google the Google machine.
Oh,
Daruma. It's thinking. So for anime of the year was Gachi Akuta, Dan to Dan, My Hero, The Flagrant Flower, Taco P's Original Sin, and Uma. What is this? Uma Musumi, Cinderella Gray.
oh, that's not what Crunchyroll's
No.
was.
That's very close. The primaries are the same. The Dan to Dan, Gachikuta.
But Fragrant Flower wasn't Anime of the Year for Crunchyroll either.
No. Taco Peas was on there. That's the only two differences. Apothecary Diaries and Summer Hikaru Died were not on their list.
Right.
Yeah.
And that could be lack of translation, or I mean, really, the Summer Hikaru Died. I don't know if it should be
Well, it's on
contended for the
Netflix.
best of the year.
Sometimes some countries don't have access to the same
Yeah, it's
things
not on
Netflix,
their what do they
that
call
could
it?
be
The region?
but I don't know.
Yeah, based on the region or whatever.
It's not on their region, but I mean, another thing too is, I mean, out of the contenders on Crunchyroll's anime of the year, really, I feel like that's probably the weakest one in the running is Summer Hikaru Died. You know, it has as far as story and everything.
The blockbuster push and all of that
Yeah.
stuff that these bigger main ones. It's more, I don't want to say a niche because they're very successful, but when you're talking anime of the year, it is very rare that a non-shonen or it's going to win it. It's very rare.
Mm-hmm.
So for best film, obviously Demon Slayer won it at Crunchyroll, but Chainsaw Man won for Daruma.
I'm not mad at that. That's good.
It was 1A, 1B for me in the Crunchyroll. Like I could see either one winning, but I am glad that Chainsaw Man won here at Demons because they're both great films.
Yes.
So the fact that each one of them has a win in a award ceremony makes me happy. So
yes.
Best action, obviously Crunchyroll gave it to Solo Leveling. The Daruma gave it to Gachiakuta.
Yeah, which is cool.
EJ said, "Ha!"
But for the action, did they have kaiju on there as a rec, or I mean a nom?
So they had Gachiakuta, Dan to Dan, Solo Leveling, Kaiju number 8, Sakamoto Days, Windbreaker Season 2, and Lazarus.
That's a pretty good list.
That is a good list.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, Gachiakuta won that one.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
Best romance, Crunchyroll had the fragrant flower, and that also won at the Daruma.
Nice.
Best drama, I've been talking so long now, words are hard. The Apothecary Diary Season 2 won for best drama, and it also won at the Daruma.
Yep, that makes sense.
That makes sense too.
They had where's it at?
Best story was cool. Their best story winner is Nippon Sangoku.
Yeah, that's the one thing I learned is that Daruma, they also talk about manga.
Yeah.
But Crunchyroll only focus on anime. And
Yeah,
so
they
the
have
best story
manga,
manga,
artwork.
best story manga is Nippon Sangoku, but then manga of the year, which makes me want to look this up, is called Mujina Into the Deep.
Yeah.
Which
And
I've
that
never even
also
heard
got
of
their
that.
best artwork for manga.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what Mujina Into the Deep is. It may be something that, is just not it's
I know their winner for action manga, the Kagurabachi.
Yeah, Kagurabachi.
That is big
okay.
hype, and the anime adaptation is in the work.
Yeah.
That's going to be the next big thing.
That is what I heard as well, and I was talking about it to Steven when we were at this cafe, and I saw some manga there, and I was telling him about it, and the dude that was working the register was like, "Oh, yeah, it's pretty good," and I was like,
It looks
"Everyone's
good. The
talking
art
about
looks amazing.
Yeah. So again, not to like I didn't get into what the judges are looking for, this, that, and the third, but there's
Yeah.
going to be other anime awards and stuff that'll happen, and when those things come up, we'll compare them and stuff. But I think we're all on the same page when it comes to the Crunchyroll. Like, I don't want to say it's watered down with giving fans the ability to vote. I do like that aspect of it, but maybe not be able to vote more than once for a certain thing.
Yeah, that would probably be good.
You can sit there and vote because I think they make the voting go live 2 weeks before the show, so you can vote
Yeah.
14 times on a certain thing. So you can vote for each of the nominees each day of the week. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of takes away the ability to vote. And it takes the, I guess, the level of pressure off on the voter. Because
Mhm.
if I'm looking at like I said, if I'm looking at best, best anime of the year, right? And I'm just sitting there like, God damn, Gachikuta, My Hero, Dan Da Dan, Kaiju Number. Like, I can only vote for one of these once. I have to make sure that it's
And I picked the
Yeah.
that it's the one I want, rather than voting on Gachakuta one day and then going back and be like, oh, I like Dan Da Dan. Oh, I like My Hero.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's the downside of how Crunchyroll does their voting. But
I'm not gonna lie, that's what I did for the movies.
see, like,
I
so
went back and forth.
there's no like, it's not like when you go to the ballot box and you're just like, when I put this shit in here, that's
This is it. This is my choice.
Yeah.
And maybe it should be that way. And also because of the fact that like I can't go back and just beef up my poor pick, that just because I'm the super fan of that. It's
Yeah.
like, does it deserve 15 or 14 nods? Probably not. You know what I mean? Although I have to say Kaiju number 8 did deserve that. We need to throw that out there. Like, man,
I mean,
no
and
love, man. No love.
and if you're that, determined to get that in there, and you make multiple email accounts to sign
Yeah.
into Crunchyroll to get multiple votes, then be it. Instead of, I just think it takes away is solo leveling really the best?
Yeah.
Or can I vote for something else? Because the
Yeah.
minute I click vote and submit, this
That's
account
it.
is going to register, hey, you voted already.
Mhm.
So do I wait to the last day to vote to get all my thoughts in, or am I so sure right away I get the vote? But that's the one downside I see with the Crunchyroll voting. I do feel fans need to have a say in it because there's politics, and again, when it comes to these things, I'm pretty sure studios are lining the money, the pockets of people.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
once
yeah.
they get that prestigious, hey, our studio made the anime of the year winner. It comes with some clout, right? So it's I don't know. I wish there was no, you know what? Cool, because then it allows for discourse and conversation and stuff like that. So let it ride, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I also saw that, because I was looking to when I didn't know about the Dream Awards, I was like, "Well, what is it?" I didn't know it was, just over the course of that 4-day expo and that they just announce it.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, well, what else was at the expo? Who else was there?" And there was actually, quite a lot of big names there, like Yoshiki, who, was one of the singers with for the opening Red Swan.
Yeah.
Season 3 of Attack on Titan was there.
What Willie really wants to know was the weekend there?
Oh,
Did the weekend show up?
Dude,
Parlez-vous the weekend?
oh my
the world's
God,
biggest
man.
anime fan. The world's renowned across the world.
What is
I know, I
the
still
weekend
don't get
thing?
it.
Like, let's cut to
Still
the
don't get
weekend.
it.
Like,
Yeah.
nobody gives a. I mean, no offense to him. I don't care if he is or not. I'm just saying, like, nobody.
I was so
Nobody.
He's like this. He comes out, he's like,
Yeah, he's like, I don't even want
the
to be here. Winner. Here
for
you go.
anime of the year.
Yeah. Cry about it. Cry
Oh,
about it. I'm out of here.
Hero Academia.
the level of shock and anger.
And then he was like this. He's like, I'm a dip.
I'm out. I'm out. Put
And
my
he
money in the
disappeared.
car.
He's
Put my
literally
money
gone.
in my limousine. I'm out.
I mean, he wasn't even there to hand. Did he even hand the trophy to the folks?
He
Did
did,
he?
and then he dipped. He handed it to him,
Oh.
and then he fucking left.
Wow.
What
He's
up?
And
like,
the
"And I'm
person
out."
getting the trophy is
He
probably
couldn't
like,
have at
"Who
least
the
like
fuck is the
performed.
Weeknd?"
You spent all that money for that. He couldn't have even
For one
performed.
of your anime songs.
Yeah. What's your favorite anime song? Go.
Oh, I really like the opening to Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know, it's just about friendship and battles.
It is. It is.
It really
That
inspired
could be
me
a
to
whole
make
hour right there,
my
an hour
song
show. Trust me,
"Blinding
I've seen it.
Lights" because the
I
lights were
have.
blinding Ash
So
in the opening, and I
Yeah.
wanted to make
Whole
that.
hour of the weekend singing the
biggest
Pokemon
award
song.
of the night. The biggest award of the night. All of these major names in the industry. You let the Weeknd come out and do that shit. You let the Weeknd come out. You just stole that.
I mean, it would have been better with one of the damn directors, the icons that they gave the, respect to, the anime directors. I'm like, that's who anime fans are going to be like, cool, you gave it. No, they brought out someone who's like,
because his name on a global stage is big. People
That's what
know
it is.
So that's why they brought him up.
Everybody's working for the Weeknd. Hey.
Everybody's working for the Weeknd.
That's so funny.
But
That's up.
It's
yeah, no, but besides that, like there was also Ko Shuni, if you guys remember, that's the dude that sang the opening for Tokyo Ghoul. You got Yama, who's done openings and endings for like Spy Family and Santa, Damon's of the Shadow Realm most recently. Who else was there? Oh, Yuji Itadori's voice actor, Junya Inoki was there, which was pretty
you
cool.
could see people, back
a lot of people there.
Like,
that's their Japan Expo. I'm assuming that's like their big kind of
for Europe.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand getting a recognizable person, but it's like that's kind of like, and our next presenter is Ronald McDonald. Like everybody knows him, yes, but does he watch anime? It's like, does he have anime Happy Meals? We don't know.
Here's Little Uzi Vert to present.
Little Uzi Vert is about to present.
Like, what are we doing?
Does he even know what planet he's on right now? Because he's probably baked out of his gourd. Little Uzi.
I forgot all about the Weeknd. Thank you.
And now Taylor Swift, everybody.
Oh, I would. Well,
I like Taylor Swift, but I would have been like, "What are we doing?"
She wouldn't have went anyway. She doesn't need the money, and she doesn't want it. She'd be like, "Why I don't need to go to that."
Here's Travis Kelce. Like, what are you doing?
Everyone, quarterback, star, and legend, Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I really like anime.
No, thank you.
I watched it, Dragon Balls.
Yeah. The Dragon Balls was my favorite.
You watch Dragon Balls?
Dragon Balls? That's a totally different show.
I really liked Slam Dunk. That was a good anime. Bro, you play football.
I really like Naruto. What's his last name? Shippuden. Get out of here. Get out of here. I know this one. Shippuden. Get out of here.
You said the wrong one. We gave him the card. He said it wrong.
I have a Spirited Away tattoo on my anus. Like, oh, you're obviously a huge fan. I'm sure the locker room loves that. Instead, she's catching a football. She's catching a football. Like, oh, yeah, it makes perfect sense.
I appreciate them trying to make it a global thing, bringing people in. Like, if people aren't a part of your culture or they haven't been doing things to show their part, like, I'm not the biggest Meg Thee Stallion fan, but I know she rocks with anime.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
She rocks.
Plays.
Yeah, so it's like, there we go. Like, if she showed up to do it, bam, 100%. I get it. Let's just not bring people in for it, because you could have used that money for something else. But that's beside the point. Next episode, though, we will be talking. We'll give you more of our picks for the summer, or what's caught our eye, and then in about 3 months or so, we'll come back and we'll get the verdicts on those. I think we had a couple of hits, like legit hits. I know Jackie had one with Nippon Sengoku.
Yeah.
And then the rest of us were kind of like mid. There were a couple that were just like blah. So hopefully our summer picks will be all fire. We kind of gave a couple, but we'll dive into that a little bit more next time. What else you guys got for the folks before we call it a show?
Thanks again for watching, tuning in, picking it up.
It's already on it. I like it.
Get us that your inputs. We love that. Anything you guys have to say or corrections that you think, let us know that the weekend is not a terrible pick if that's what you like. But yeah, just hit us up so we could talk about it.
100%. And as our
here it comes. I can feel it. It's
got it.
like,
She's got it. Look at her face. It's a good.
Yeah, I know. The excitement is building across the globe as we wait.
Steven looks so in thought back there.
He is. He's deep.
Oh, he's playing what is it? I forget. Civilization War or whatever, but it's the Game of Thrones version mod that he downloaded. He's playing dance. He's at the Dance of the Dragons part right now. Well, he was last night, so I don't know how far he got now.
He is like, I gotta make my next move, best move.
Planning.
I'd like to pick one of the houses no one knows, like one of the.
He's like, I like that though. He's not just going in blind,
Yeah, no.
He's not one of those people that save every move.
All right, this is what I got. Ready?
Okay.
Will they ever finish their backlog? Will next season somehow be even more stacked? Will one of us finally stop saying this might be anime of the year every week? Find out next time on Eat the Cake.
Eat the cake.
I feel attacked.
How did AI know?
I feel attacked.
You're judging us. Actually, I think we're pretty fair about not coming out with like, this is it. This is anime. We don't do that every anime that we talk about. It's like,
find out next time on Eat the Cake.
I mean, we did that for Gachakuta.
But we were, but it wasn't, we weren't doing that on everything that rolled. I mean, we were like, we gave props. We were like solo leveling something to watch.
Right.
We called out that, but we weren't all like quick to the of the year. But Gachakuta was my of the year. Yeah.
Cool. But thanks for tuning in, leaving comments, all of that good stuff. We'll catch you guys next time. Till then, peace.
Johnny.
Thank you.